going on. Look, I was going to ask, have you talked with Uncle Adrian about... Your aunt and uncle have done more for us than I will ever be able to repay, Dahlia, she murmurs quietly. I won't ask them for anything more. Mom, he can't solve all our problems, sweetheart. She sighs again. Anyway, I'm not done fighting. I'm reaching out to some old investors today, and some of the board members on a few of the trusts. She swears in French. If only I could stop some of these cowards from jumping ship and selling our assets to the first bidder. It's half that I don't have the heart to tell her, and half that I literally don't know what words I would use to tell her that a psychopath I once went to school with and crossed is the one using shell companies to buy up her assets. Yes, this saves them from Gerard, but at what cost? Oh, God. Me, and whatever Deimos demands of me. That second part I'm most certainly not talking to my mother about. But whatever sadistic shit he has planned for me, I'll take it. I can take it. For my mother's sake. She's done and given everything for me. Now it's my turn. But enough of that. How's school, sweetheart? And how's your new internship? I glance at the time and make a face. Shit, I need to get going. It's good. They're both good, actually. I groan. I need to let you go. I have a meeting with my new boss at the internship. So late. I swallow, feeling warmth spread up my neck. Yeah. Well, I won't keep you then. Mum, you could always come here, stay with me for a bit. She laughs her musical, silvery laugh. You're too sweet. But no, ma chérie. I'm at my best in Paris, and I've got Celeste and Adrienne just a short train ride away in London. I nod. You're okay, though, Dahlia. I'm great. You sure are, ma chérie. I flush as I roll my eyes. Love you, Mum. After I hang up, I shower quickly, shave my legs, and blow-dry my hair. I apply makeup in the foggy bathroom mirror, and it's only when I'm standing in my closet looking in despair at an open drawer at my frankly abysmal collection of anything you could even generously call lingerie as opposed to underwear that it really hits me. Jesus Christ. I'm primping for him. I'm getting dolled up, like I'm going on a freaking date. I mean, I just shaved my legs and bikini line. You'll even be my whore, if I ask. I know. I mean, I really, truly know that he's not being metaphorical there. I remember Deimos's reputation at school. There wasn't a girl on campus who wasn't ready to worship at his feet for just one wink or flash of that predatory, psychotically beautiful smile. And I'm sure, as he's gotten older, more powerful, and even more outrageously gorgeous, that his penchant for blowing through random women has only grown. I know precisely what me going over to his house tonight means. The fucked up thing is, I'm not disgusted by it. I'm not furious or ill. I'm not appalled that this man has calmly invited me to come over to his house to trade my body for his mercy. I'm trying to get there, in my head. I'm trying to force myself to feel what I know I should be feeling about all of this. It's not working. Nothing I try to remind myself about power imbalances, or sexual slavery, or even the word prostitution, does a single thing to force the negative feelings to the surface. I mean, I could say no. I could just not show up tonight, and ghost Deimos and the whole internship. And there might be consequences to doing that, but they'd only be monetary ones. It's not like he'd actively hunt me down, tie me up, and force me to have sex with him or something. At least, I don't think he would. But while I could say no to all of this, I know I won't. Not when there's a chance that me doing this saves my mum's companies and foundation. In the end, I settle for my only set of matching black lingerie, a knee-length burgundy tartan skirt, a simple black top, and a light blue cardigan. I look put together, but not glamorous. Cute, but not sexy. Half an hour later, the building security guard at the address on the matte black card is ushering me into the elevator. I rise smoothly to the 12th floor of the elegant Soho loft building, and when the doors slide open with a discreet ding, my eyes almost pop out of my head. Holy shit! The space is stunning, honoring the building's heritage as a factory before it was turned into lofts for millionaires. I live in what I consider to be a nice apartment on the Upper West Side, with a decent amount of space for New York City. But Damos's place dwarfs mine. The sheer square footage is jaw-dropping, with rehabbed original wooden floors, brick walls, and exposed beams on the high ceilings. Expanses of old black iron factory windows run the full length of 2 of the walls, and there's even a door that leads out to a private patio terrace. The lighting is dim, almost too dim, because there's only 3 lights in the whole place. There's also barely any furniture in here at all, just one tan leather couch, a matching chair across from it, and a small desk to one side next to a bar cart. And in one corner, a simply gorgeous, gleaming, all-black, baby grand piano. My bottom lip retreats between my teeth as my eyes linger on the piano, remembering Damos wasn't just Night's Blood's resident psycho and head of the Reckless. He was also an astounding pianist. I heard him play as part of a school concert once. He was breathtaking. Like, seriously jaw-dropping, heart-stopping amazing. Apparently, there was even talk about him going professional. I guess Mafia work paid better. I exhale as I glance around the apartment. It's not like he's got no furniture. But in a space of this size, it feels very sparse and empty with just those pieces in here. The amount of open floor space is crazy. Like, you could easily ride a bike around this place, or host relay races. I believe the aesthetic is called minimalist vintage. I shiver, snapping my head around to see Damos drifting out of the shadows next to a support column. Jesus Christ, how does he keep doing that? Like a ghost appearing out of nowhere. Scares the shit out of me. I take a shaky breath and regain my composure as I glare at him. Is that on purpose? Or have you just not bought the rest of the furniture yet? I don't know if Damos had a place of his own in New York before, but I doubt it, considering he lived full-time in London. Which means he's bought this place in the last few weeks. His only answer to my question is a lift of his shoulder. I haven't decided yet. You haven't decided if you need furniture yet? No. And? I frown. And nothing. I mean, it's your apartment. Yes. And here you are. I swallow thickly, stepping away from the elevator doors as they slide closed behind me. Damos raises the crystal glass of what looks like whiskey in his hand, sipping it slowly as his eyes slide over me, burning me under his gaze. Would you like a drink? Yeah, sure. Let's add alcohol to this mix. Fantastic idea, Dahlia. No, thank you. One corner of his mouth rises. You sure? Yeah. Let's just get this over with. My heart is racing 1,000,000 miles a minute, even if I'm trying to pretend it's not. Because the truth is, I am very much in over my head here. I don't know exactly what's coming next, or what his plans for me tonight are. But whatever they are, it's going to involve me jumping into the deep end with no idea of how to swim. Damos takes another slow sip of his drink, his eyes dragging over me once more. It's not an overtly lewd or salacious look, but there's no mistaking the intention behind it, or ignoring the fire in his gaze. He moves to the sofa, sitting in the middle of it and sprawling casually, one arm up on the back and his legs spread wide. He nods with his chin to the space in front of him. "Come here." Heat pools in my core while something teases up the back of my spine. It's warm in here. Too warm and too dim. Actually, maybe it's the perfect amount of dim. Enough that I can hide. But do you want to hide? There are 100 different conversations and conflicting arguments roaring in my head as I walk over in front of him, standing between where he's lounging on the couch and the chair across from him. I drop my hands to my sides, then bring them to my front where they fidget together, before they move back to my sides, tapping my legs nervously. "Well," I blurt, glaring at him. "Now what?" He smiles thinly. My, so eager to be my whore." My face warms and my lips curl back. "I am not a—" "I never said you were a whore," he growls quietly, interrupting me. "I said you were my whore." I roll my eyes. "This isn't eagerness, trust me. I just want to get this over with. I have other things I need to do tonight." His eyes twitch a little, but then his lips curl into a venomous smile. "Of course you do." His heavy sarcasm pisses me off. "Look, I don't have any interest in games, okay? You told me to come here, we're both adults, and understand what this means and what this is. So, let's get it over with. I can take back what's mine, we can part ways, and you never have to see me—" "Take off your clothes." My eyes fly wide open, my mouth dropping into an O shape as any reply gets caught in my suddenly closed-off throat. I blink, my pulse jumping from fast, where it was before, to Olympic sprinter level. You mean... "I mean, take off your clothes. Right now." Suddenly, all of this is so much more real than I ever thought it'd be. "If not, there's the door," he growls, nodding again with his chin. "Although, needless to say, in that case, I'll be doing what I please with the companies I've recently acquired, not to mention their employees." "Okay." He smirks, arching a brow. "Okay, what, Dahlia?" "Okay, I'll do what you say." "Wonderful. So again, and this is the very last time I'll be asking." His eyes stab into mine over the rim of his crystal glass as he slowly takes a sip. "Take off your fucking clothes." Chapter 10. Dahlia. "Take off your fucking clothes." For one brief second, I toy with the idea of running away, of just dropping this whole absolutely insane thing, bolting for the elevator, and never once looking back. It only lasts for a second, though. Then, my hands lift to the buttons of my cardigan. But deep down, I think that decision was made before I even came over here. I pop the buttons open slowly, not to be a tease, but out of nerves, because I have no idea what I'm doing, or how to be sexy, which of course leads directly to annoying thoughts like, but why the fuck do you want to be sexy for this? This isn't a date. Deimos is not a prospective boyfriend. This is a deal with the goddamn devil himself. I toss the cardigan away and clear my throat as I untuck my top. I swallow and pause, my brows furrowing. "Can I actually have that drink?" "No." My eyes raise sharply to his. "What?" "No, you can't. Continue." My lips purse. You literally just offered me a drink a minute ago.
Correct. Maybe next time, you'll take what's offered when it's offered.
I stare at him. You're serious?
And you're still dressed. Fix that.
Arsehole, I mutter to myself. I pull off my black top, blushing as I feel his eyes on my bra. I kick off my flats, then drop the skirt to my feet and wriggle out of it. My skin burns where his eyes slide over me, drinking in every detail, every flaw, every hidden part of me. Every buried secret, every private desire. When he doesn't say anything, I glance down at myself and bite my lip. Compared to the rest of the underwear I own, what I have on now seemed ridiculously sexy and alluring back at home. Looking at it now, it looks more like regular plain old underwear that happens to be black and involve a few bits of lace.
You're still dressed. You don't get to stop yet.
I blush and turn away from him, unclasping my bra and dropping it. My panties follow, and my entire body pulses with embarrassment as my hand covers my pussy and one arm goes across my breasts.
Turn around, Dahlia.
I do so, shivering and squirming under his fierce gaze.
This may surprise you, but I've actually seen a naked female form before. You don't have to protect my innocence.
My lips purse as I take in the smug look on his face.
Drop the arms. Now.
I take a shaky breath, and then I do as he says, dropping them to my sides, when my fingers twist and my fists clench into balls over and over.
Good.
He growls. His eyes shamelessly drag over every part of me, lingering on my chest, and then between my legs. I squirm under his gaze. But this isn't so bad. I can do this.
Now sit. Spread your legs and touch yourself.
I'm sorry. What? My mouth drops open, my eyes going wide as I stare at him with shock all over my face.
Pretending to be deaf is an extremely poor taste, Dahlia. Not to mention insulting to my intelligence.
My mouth opens even wider as I stare at him. I am not...
And the next time you pathetically insist on trying to pretend you are, I'll immediately bend you over the nearest chair, couch, park bench, railing, mailbox, or parked taxi, rip your panties off, and spank your ass until you can't sit down for a week.
Holy fuck. Something explosive and deadly, like napalm, floods my core.
Is that clear?
I nod quickly, swallowing the knot in my throat. Yes.
Excellent. Now sit your ass in that chair, spread your legs, and show me your fucking pussy.
There's no charm to this man when he doesn't need or want it as a means to an end. No softness, no seduction, just brutality and coldness, danger and fear. I wish I could say that was a turn-off. It's not. Slowly, my face throbbing, I sit in the leather chair across from him, my knees still jammed firmly together.
If we have to go get your ears checked, I'm taking you to the doctor as is, right now.
I glare at him, my face bright red as I chew on my lip. I heard you just fine. You don't have to be such an asshole.
Yes, but I enjoy being one. And you're still not following my instructions.
Fine, I snap. Here. I spread my legs, wide. Deimos's gaze drops between them, and I shiver when I see something feral and wild ignite in his eyes. My jaw clenches as embarrassment explodes in my head. What the hell is that supposed to mean?
It means you have a very pretty pussy.
Sweet Jesus. If my face was blushing before, it breaks the fucking chart now. It heats so much that I swear even my vision goes a little pink at the edges.
And now, I'd like you to touch yourself.
There's no breaks with him. No gradual easing into any of this. Just 0 to 100. In less than a minute, I've stripped and spread my legs for him. And now he wants this. I start to open my mouth to protest. But then I realize I'm not sure what to say. And I'm just going to stumble over my words, and I stop. Because this psycho-megalomaniac control freak will just accuse me of playing deaf again. And there's no way he'd miss a chance to make good on his threat of me not being able to sit down for a week. I shiver as something wicked and hot tangles inside of me.
Touch yourself,
he growls quietly, his eyes throbbing with dark energy. This is really fucked up.
Then why are you so wet?
He smirks. There's something beast-like in his eyes, a sadistic feral light that excites me. I'm not. But I am. Mortifyingly so. Deimos chuckles as he drains the last of his drink and sets the glass on the floor.
Shall I prove it to you?
My face ignites as my eyes bulge. No!
You're not following directions, Dahlia.
He nods to where my knees have somehow drifted back together.
You do know how to touch yourself, don't you?
My lips purse. Yes.
Well then.
Swallowing, I slowly spread my legs again, shameful warmth spreading from my face all the way down to my bare chest. I look away miserably, because there's no way I can look him in the eye when I do this. My hand drops between my thighs, and I shiver when I cut myself. My heart thuds against my chest. This is a first, doing this in front of him. In front of anyone, to be honest. All of this is a first, and whatever comes next will be too. Whatever he does to me, with me, will be a first that he claims. Yeah. After what happened with the monster when I was 12, I didn't exactly have an interest in exploring things. Sexually, I mean. With anyone but myself. This wasn't exactly a huge problem, considering I was always the weird, outcast new girl at countless schools. It's not exactly like people were lining up to take me out and, oh, I don't know, fuck me for the first time or anything. Or finger me. Or even coerce me into an awkward, toothy first blowjob. For a while, at Night's Blood, I thought that might change. When Chase, despite being just another dumb, handsy, popular jock, showed me a part of himself that no one else got to see. A door inside me opened that had been locked for years. But then, after everything that happened at school, I shut back down. I finished college here in the city instead of at Night's Blood, happily keeping to myself. Over the years, I've tried here and there to find companionship. Or yes, casual sex. But for some reason, it's never panned out. I've never really been that interested anyway, which is good, because something always derails it. They flake. They show their true colors. They turn out to be a creep. Whatever it is, it has never happened. But there is no fucking way in hell I'm telling any of that to Deimos.
Dahlia, I'm beginning to think that you're a 24-year-old woman who doesn't actually know how to pleasure herself. It's concerning.
I glare at him, trying to ignore the disconnect between doing that and sitting across from him with my legs spread and a hand covering my bare pussy. I'm confident I'm much more adept at eliciting pleasure and orgasm from a vagina than you are, I snap. Deimos's lips pull wide.
I sincerely doubt that. But if you're so fucking sure...
I shiver as he leans closer, his elbows on his knees.
Then show me.
Something teasing ripples up my spine, and slowly I nod. Fine, I breathe. The middle finger of the hand covering my pussy begins to move, sliding up and down my lips. He wasn't wrong. I'm soaked. And I mean, if I was alone, this wouldn't be a problem. But it's more than a little strange sitting here with an audience of one, 3 feet away from me, watching me, judging me like he's assessing my technique.
I'm waiting, Dahlia.
What do you want from me? I'm doing it, I hiss. Deimos snorts, raising a brow.
You're joking, surely.
I stop moving my finger, glaring at him. I mean, it's my fucking pussy, for fuck's sake. The audacity to suggest he could do it better than me. Look, if you're so insistent that I do this, can you just stop talking and let me—
This is a train wreck. I'm intervening.
Wait, what? Before I know what's happening, he's off the sofa, surging right into me and shoving my thighs apart with his. My eyes go wide, and my mouth falls open as Deimos grabs my hand, twists his fingers with mine, and in one motion, curls both our hands deep between my legs. Oh, my fucking God! 2 fingers, one mine, the other his, sink right into my slick, molten heat. My face explodes in a rush of crimson, embarrassed at how wet I am, and that he knows now. But then before I can say a word, his finger curls alongside mine, and my eyes roll back into my head. Oh, my sweet fuck! Both of our fingers rub against my G-spot, and I can't help it. I moan. I try and suck it back in, then I cough, trying to cover it. But there's no getting anything past this man. There's no hiding from the devil himself as he strokes both of our fingers in and out of my dripping wet pussy.
There we are.
He purrs darkly.
I knew you had it in you.
Fuck you, I blurt.
Oh no, darling.
He growls with a devious smirk.
We're fucking you.
Our fingers ram in a second time. Another mortifying moan tears from my lips as our fingertips hit my G-spot again. And as with everything else, there's no breaks or acclimating with Deimos. There's no letting me get used to it, even if he has no idea that I've never fucked myself with anything bigger than one finger before. He rams our fingers deep, without apology, without mercy. And the really fucked up thing? I've never been wetter. I'm so wet I'm almost worried I've peed myself. But there's no time to freak out about that, or hope this isn't so abnormal that he himself freaks and drops this whole thing. He just keeps fucking me hard with both of our fingers, and when he grinds my own palm against my clit after pinning it there with his own hand, my mouth falls open in a silent scream of pleasure. Oh, fuck. Oh, fuck. Oh, fuck. I'm going to come. The lewd, wet, squelching sounds of our fingers fucking my greedy pussy fill my ears, together with the echoes of my own moans. I'm so close I can taste it. I'm teetering on the edge, my face a twisted mask of pleasure and my legs spasming, when suddenly Deimos' mouth drops toward mine. I'm sure he's about to kiss me, but that's not what happens. At the last second, he twists his head to the side, drops his mouth to my collarbone, and bites. Hard. He bites so hard, I'm sure he's broken the skin, or taken out an actual chunk out of my flesh, like the fucking psychopath that he is. But that sharp, piercing sensation, and the resulting adrenaline spike that stabs through my core, sets off the very last fuse I have. And a millisecond later, I'm exploding. I scream the roof down when I feel myself come. My pussy clenches tight around my finger and his, my hips bucking with a mind of their own as I erupt all over our hands. My back arches, my head dropping back with his teeth still firmly embedded in my collarbone. Suddenly, air floods my lungs and I gasp, sucking it in as I feel Deimos pull away. His hand slips from between my legs, as does mine. I collapse back into the chair, my legs splayed in the most unladylike pose imaginable, but without a drop of energy to move. Holy fucking fuck. What the hell was that? I mean, I've had orgasms before, but not a single one of them was 1/10 of whatever the actual fuck that just was. Blinking, I'm suddenly acutely, painfully aware that Deimos is now standing over me, smirking as I lie in a heap on his chair. I flush, struggling to sit up. I avoid his eyes as I reach for my clothes.
Not yet.
I gasp when he lowers himself close to me. For a moment, I think he's going to grab my chin again, or my throat, both ideas sending a disturbing and horrendously traitorous throb between my thighs. But suddenly, he does something else. He slips his fingers between my lips. And then I taste it. I taste me. I instinctively go to push his hand away, but he grabs my raised hand and holds it firmly in place.
No, no, darling, he murmurs. I want you to taste your messy little cunt. I promise you, you taste divine. Now, suck.
My throat bobs as my tongue tentatively licks at my fingertip. I can taste myself, sweet and earthy. Slowly, his finger still in my mouth, he pulls my hand close to him, opens his lips, and sucks my finger, the very finger that was just inside of me, into his mouth. I stare at him with wide eyes and a throbbing face, still tasting myself off of his finger. This shouldn't be so erotic, so intimate. Finally, he pulls away, and just like that, the spell is broken. He turns abruptly, picking up his empty glass and walking across the almost empty loft to the bar cart. As he pours himself a drink, I quickly pull on my bra and panties, along with the rest of my clothes. He arches a quizzical brow as he turns back to find me clothed.
That was fast.
I chew on my lip, avoiding his gaze. Well, we're done.
Are we now?
I glance back at him and nod brusquely. Yep, I did what you asked. Now you can transfer ownership of those companies back to... Deimos starts to laugh. Coldly, mirthlessly. When I just stare at him, he arches a brow in amusement.
You're joking, right?
My brow knits.
We're so far from done, Dahlia, that you can't even see the tunnel yet, at the end of which you may one day see a pinprick of light.
When the horrible realization dawns on me, I want to say it hits me like a slap, but part of me knew that this was too easy. If tonight was all it took, that was just wishful thinking on my part. Or is my real wish for this to keep going? I shove the treasonous thoughts way down deep as I clear my throat, hold my head high, and look right at him. Well, how long then? He casually takes a sip of his drink.
As long as I like.
No, I mutter. That's no answer.
Are you attempting to negotiate after I've already...
He smiles darkly.
Made my acquisition? They're not teaching you very well at business school.
How long? I growl.
Dahlia, these discussions take place...
How long?
A year.
I stare at him, and the world goes silent as the ground bends under my feet. What?
I have you for 1 year.
No.
Again, you seem to be under the impression that we're in the negotiating phase. We're not. It's this or that. This is you keeping to our agreement, after which you'll get back control of your former companies. And that is the door, through which you can walk and kiss goodbye any chance of seeing your money or your companies or your foundation ever again.
I stare at him, my mouth agape as I slowly shake my head. And what about all of the people who work for those companies?
I quite honestly couldn't give a fuck about them.
I blink back hot tears. You're a fucking monster, I hiss.
And you were just coming for me like a greedy little slut.
He snarls, surging toward me. I gasp when his fingers wrap around my throat, and instantly, the heat I felt before explodes again, deep in my core. My thighs quiver as wetness pools between them. And he smiles, like he can tell, like he knows.
You like being my little whore, don't you?
I purse my lips. You're a pig.
And you're my eager little slut.
I shiver as my thighs clench. Deimos chuckles.
I'll have to remember you like being called that. Now tell me.
He lowers his lips to my ear, making me bite back a whimper.
What else gets that messy little pussy completely worked up?
I clamp my mouth shut.
What if I were to tie you up, or pin you down and fuck you without mercy?
Oh, God. My breath catches in my throat as the darkness I keep locked deep inside me begins to hammer relentlessly against the door I've caged it behind.
Interesting,
Deimos muses. That's not... I don't.
Oh, no. Of course not.
He chuckles. I gasp sharply when he nips at my earlobe with his teeth.
My mistake, I'm sure. What else, Dahlia?
I squeeze my eyes shut.
What if I were to chase you and catch you?
My breath becomes ragged when his hand slides up between my legs. It slips underneath my skirt, and I whimper quietly when he cups my slick pussy through my panties.
And fuck you like an animal in heat, heedless of your pleasure or consent.
Oh, my sweet fucking God. The man is ripping into the most private places of my mind, yanking out my darkest, most fucked up and deviant fantasies, and putting them on display for all the world to see.
Please,
he growls into my ear.
Lie to me. Tell me the idea of me catching you, stuffing your mouth full of your soaking wet panties, and then fucking you bare and raw without mercy doesn't turn you the fuck on and transform this greedy little cunt into a puddle. Lie to me, because I can feel your dripping little pussy soaking right through your panties.
My eyes roll back in my head as his fingers start to twist my clit underneath the lace.
And of course, I could always find you while you're most vulnerable, while you're asleep, Dahlia. And you could wake up with my cock plowing your deliciously tight pussy, or with my balls emptying my cum deep down your pretty little throat.
My breath catches. My legs shake as a second orgasm threatens to explode through me. Which is exactly when Deimos stops cold, drops his hand, and steps away. I literally almost fall over. My legs are shaking so hard.
Work starts promptly at 8 tomorrow morning. Be on time.
I blink, trying to focus on him as my head spins. Sorry, what?
Work, Dahlia.
He smiles thinly.
You didn't think our arrangement was only going to be you getting finger-fucked in the comfort of my home, did you?
I stare at him. What work?
Your internship. Laconia Logistics.
I wrinkle my brow. That's just a gag, isn't it? A fake company?
Yes. I leased 10,000 square feet of prime office space in Midtown fucking Manhattan for a prank.
Okay, but what am I supposed to do?
Whatever the fuck I tell you to. There's the door. Don't be late tomorrow.
He points to the elevator. Asshole. I shoot him a glare, or at least I try to. But it's difficult when my entire body is on fire, and I'm so wet I can feel the slickness on my thighs as I wobble toward the elevator. I turn to face him as the doors begin to shut between us, which is exactly when he wraps his lips around one of his fingers and sucks it clean with a malevolent glint in his eye.
Pleasant dreams, darling.
Chapter 11. Deimos. 6 years ago. When we were kids, before I'd perfected the art of not being caught, whenever one of my older brothers would catch me spying, either on them or someone else, they'd call me a sneak. I'm not really bothered by names or insults, but I never much liked that one. Sneak. Sneak has a negative connotation to it. It reminds me of snitch. It sounds like a pest you eradicate from your kitchen with traps and poison. I am not a sneak. I'm just good at spying on people. I'm good at hiding somewhere without being seen, not because I have to, due to an inability to defend myself if caught, even though I won't be. On the contrary, in the unlikely event that I am caught, I'm quite ready and very willing to defend myself physically. Something the mouse stealing cookies in your kitchen can't do. I don't do what I do, skulking through the shadows, passing unnoticed, and seeing without being seen, because it's something I have to do. I do it because, quite simply, I enjoy it. I really, really enjoy it. Especially right now. Steam fills the dorm bathroom Dahlia shares with 3 other girls. One is her roommate, the particularly cunty Amanda DeBella of the DeBella Mafia family out of Chicago. The other 2 roommates I have no issue with, because they keep away from Dahlia. Those are Yvonne Moreau of the Marseille Mafia and Song Chae-hwa, whose family I gather is connected to Chopo, aka the Korean Mafia. Currently, though, Dahlia isn't sharing this bathroom with anyone. It's just her. And my eyes. Her dorm room and the adjoining bathroom that is shared with the dorm room next door are on the 2nd floor of the building, which is why I'm perched in the tree directly outside said bathroom, cloaked in darkness, with my eye to a small notch I've made in the frosting of the window. What? I'm not sneaking or peeping. I'm merely watching, gathering information on a target of interest, learning more about a curiosity that has piqued mine. A girl I'm unable to stop thinking about, or obsessing over, or lurking around. And I need to know why, because that's never happened to me before. An obsession with objects, or winning some sort of battle or competition, sure. With an enemy or a problem, that too. But never with a girl, which is why this needs investigating. The shower turns off. Inside the bathroom, Dahlia steps out, and for one moment, my eyes sweep across her bare, tanned skin. The pertness of her full tits, capped with rosy red nipples. The way her taut stomach curves down to her hips and delves toward a small V of black hair between her thighs. This obsession is getting out of hand. At least I'm aware of the fact. It's not lost on me just how fucking pathetic and stupid it is for me to be lurking in a goddamn tree like a peeping Tom, staring into a bathroom at one specific weird girl. Not when this campus is littered with regular girls. More specifically, regular girls who would quite happily take their clothes off for me, at the very least, without necessitating me climbing trees like a creep. And yet, here we are. If I could lie to myself, I'd probably start by trying to convince a lesser, baser part of me that this has nothing to do with her and everything to do with that fucking pool that Chase and his buddies have going on. That I'm here to protect my stake in that ridiculous competition, making sure no one else is trying to take that prize. It certainly wouldn't be the first time I've deleted a competitor. In the last few weeks, more than one other shithead has tried to make their move. One in particular, a corn-fed good old boy from Missouri named, I shit you not, Traden McAndrews, whose family is Dixie Mafia adjacent, was getting a bit too close. A bit too handsy when he'd slide in next to Dahlia in line at the cafeteria. A bit too forward with asking for her number over and over. A bit too sloppy in his liberating of her underwear from her laundry basket when she wasn't looking. Naturally, I had to get this under control. Nothing crazy, of course. Nothing murderous. I merely cut the brakes of his piece of shit muscle car that he keeps on campus for weekend joyrides. He didn't die or anything when he wrapped that Thunderbird around the telephone pole. I mean, his half-promising career as a pro baseball pitcher is probably toast. But hey, there's always a fallback career selling meth to truckers, like the rest of his shitty family. But I digress. He'll live. He will not, however, be touching Dahlia Roy. I shake Trayden and any other thoughts from my head as I focus through the small, unfrosted corner of the window. This is important. Not just because I thoroughly enjoy seeing Dahlia in the nude, but because I need to focus. I need to observe carefully and learn everything about her. To feed the dangerous obsession I'm quickly developing. She leans against the vanity and drops her towel. She traces her hands up her sides, cupping her breasts and hefting them with a small frown on her face. She pinches a bit of skin on her hip and sighs. Really? I mean, for fuck's sake, the girl is a goddamn goddess, and she's standing there pinching 0.5 ounces of fat she's somehow managed to find and decide don't belong on her body. It makes me want to put my fist through the glass and tell her exactly that. I don't, obviously. I continue watching as she blows her long dark hair dry, as she checks her delectable, biteable, and very fuckable ass in the mirror, as she slips on bra and panties, then leggings and a t-shirt, and exits the bathroom. Her cum dump of a roommate, Amanda, comes in next, but I'm long gone before she starts to disrobe. My dick has no interest in morally bankrupt cunts like that. Actually, and this is odd, my dick seems to have no interest in much of anyone the last month. Only her. Dahlia. But now it's time to go and fade into the night. I've got a paper to write, a piano sonata to practice, and, of course, mayhem to plan. And Dahlia to fantasize about. Present. I allow myself a smug smile as I look at my phone. It was so painfully easy to hack her Wi-Fi. Naughty girl, I murmur quietly to myself. I can see what she's looking at on her phone on my own, having paired it to hers via the hacked Wi-Fi. But I raise my eyes from it and look through her window instead. The live show is much more interesting. Inside her bedroom, Dahlia writhes under the sheets, moaning quietly as she fingers her greedy little pussy. I grin. She almost didn't make it home after I teased her right to the brink in my loft. She was barely through the door before she was stripping down, bringing up porn videos on her phone that have severely piqued my interest and curiosity, and fallen into bed with her hand firmly jammed between her thighs. When she rolls onto her front and arches her back, sending her luscious ass high in the air, I reach down and finally allow myself to free my cock. When she moans into the pillow, only half watching the video on her phone of the man in the mask fucking the absolute living shit out of a petite girl on her knees, with her hands bound behind her back and her panties stuffed in her drooling mouth, I begin to stroke. Given that Dahlia's Upper West Side apartment, unlike her dorm room back when she was in school, is on the 10th floor, not the 2nd, with no convenient tree branch 100 feet up. This has proved a trickier spot to get to. But obviously, not impossible. The window washing apparatus that lowers from the roof 5 stories above us was simple enough to break into. So I watch. And keep watching. I jerk my swollen cock, licking my lips as if to capture the last remnant taste of her pussy from earlier, when I sucked both of our fingers clean. She tastes like heaven, like the rapture. She tastes, in fact, like my undoing. On her bed, Dahlia twists and writhes, burying her face in her pillow, the video long forgotten. The sheet slips off her, and I grit my teeth to stop from groaning as I watch her fingers roughly work and fuck her pussy. Her legs shake, her toes curl, and when she comes, so do I. My hot, sticky white cum sprays against the outside of her bedroom window. And when Dahlia rolls out of bed and pads lazily to the shower and I depart, I leave that cum right where I sprayed it. A mark to any other creepies or crawlies, or things that go bump in the night that might come calling. She's spoken for. She's taken. She always has been, and she always will be. Even if that's the thing I hate about myself the most.
Chapter 12. Dahlia. I take a deep, slow breath as the elevator ascends to the floor housing Laconia Logistics, aka Deimos's bullshit faux office for a sham company that probably does nothing at all. Nothing but screw with my life, that is. There's still a small voice in the back of my head, whispering for me to hit the stop button, go back to the lobby and run, not walk, out of this building and never, ever look back. Even after last night. Even after the way Deimos crowbarred his way into my most secretive, dark fantasies and held them up to the light.
What if I were to tie you up, or pin you down and fuck you without mercy? What if I were to chase you and fuck you like an animal in heat, heedless of your consent, while you're asleep, Dahlia?
He shouldn't know those things about me. Nobody should. I shouldn't want them. But that's not the issue right now. The issue is, Deimos Draco somehow is holding my darkest desires in the palm of his hand, and I can already feel him squeezing as his fingers tighten around them, and me. I should run. Cut my losses and run. But I can't, and I won't. Not after everything my mother's gone through to get me where I am today and give me the amazing life I have. She's gone through hell and back for me. I can survive Deimos for her. The doors open to the office. I step out, half expecting him to jump out of the shadows of the empty office again and say boo. But this morning, things are different. It's still not a functioning office, but it's not empty anymore. Boxes and crates of what look like basic office infrastructure, chairs, desks, cubicle walls, and more, fill the space on one side. On the other, there now stands an L-shaped glass wall, boxing in a corner of room by the window. And sitting inside it, at a massive wooden desk, a wall of bookshelves already installed behind him, is the Dark Prince himself. Deimos looks up when I wander into the midst of the boxes and bits of unassembled cubicle walls. His eyes flash with a sort of malice as he stands from his desk chair and paces leisurely to the open glass and black metal door to his new corner office.
You look tired.
I frown, glaring at him as he walks out. Wow. He always dressed well when we were in school, but Deimos the man, the boss standing in front of me, cuts a seriously sharp figure. A blacker-than-black, surgically tailored suit jacket and pants, with a gunmetal grey vest beneath, a crisp white shirt with French cuffs, and a thin black tie. I flush as he prowls toward me, instantly replaying what happened last night. The possessive, controlling feel of him, gripping my hand and fucking me with his and my fingers, making me taste myself, tasting me himself too. What? I blurt, as he comes to a stop in front of me.
I said, you look tired, Dahlia.
Well, I shrug and look away from him as I set my bag down on a box. I didn't sleep well.
Maybe you should go to sleep at a reasonable hour, instead of staying up jerking off like a horny teenaged boy.
I wish I had the self-control to brush off his comment like it's nothing, but I don't. There's no halting the way my head whips around to stare at him, my eyes bulging in horror. What? I choke out. Deimos smiles coldly, but neither says nor does anything to address the shock and shame on my face. What the fuck? Is he spying on me?
Your office attire.
I swallow back the heat on my face, forcing myself to focus. What's wrong with my office attire?
That's Dior, isn't it?
I cock a brow, glancing down at the best skirt suit I own. Because just like last night, when I was primping and shaving and, God help me, manicuring for him, I've gone out of my way to dress in my absolute best for my first day here. Which, again, is probably some sort of mental health issue I need to seek therapy for. It is. And?
A shame.
I frown. I'm not following.
Today, you'll be unboxing all of these desks, chairs, and cubicle walls, assembling them, and beginning the task of setting this place up into a proper office.
I stare at him. I'm sorry. I'm doing what? His cold smile fades.
You're doing whatever the fuck I tell you to do, in case you hadn't really wrapped your head around that basic concept yet. And today, what I'm telling you to do is that.
You want me to be a handyman?
I'll admit, I prefer the Dior over baggy overalls and an undershirt, but sure, call yourself whatever you want.
I suck my bottom lip between my teeth. I'm not exactly handy.
Well, there's a first time for everything, isn't there? I'd get started, if I were you. This is just the first shipment.
He nods past me at the gargantuan stacks of boxes. My heart sinks.
If you need anything...
His lips curl.
Well, actually, if you need anything, I trust that you are intelligent and resourceful enough to figure it the fuck out for yourself. I'll be in my office.
He turns abruptly on his polished heel and strides back toward his glass castle. Sorry, do I have an office? Or will I have an office? Deimos halts, turning slowly to level a cruel smile at me.
Of course you will, Dahlia.
He nods past me at the pyramid of cardboard.
It comes with some assembly required.
I glare daggers at his back through the glass door as it shuts between us. Arsehole. I start to tear open some of the boxes and organize the pieces I find by what furniture they are. The chairs look simple enough. Just a frame that requires you to screw on a padded back and seat, along with the apparatus on the bottom for the 5 little wheels. But as soon as I roll up my metaphorical sleeves and get to work, I hit a roadblock. I don't have a screwdriver. Deimos glances up at the sound of my knock and sighs with exasperation.
What?
He grumps. I crack the door open. Hi, yeah,
So, I see you're not resourceful enough to figure your shit out for yourself.
I blink, taken a little back at the sheer venom in his tone. Okay.
From your tone just now, he growls quietly. And from the way your eyes are barely restrained from rolling back, I can only assume you'd like to say something to me. Some feedback, perhaps.
Honestly?
By all means.
I smile curtly. I don't think there's any reason for you to be such a dick. His jaw tenses. A not-so-little voice inside my head screams, "What the fuck is wrong with you idiot?" about 5 times in a row.
Dahlia, he growls quietly. Have you ever known me not to be a cold-hearted, mean dick of a bastard?
No, I blurt quickly.
And what exactly would lead you to assume things would be any different in my personality department today?
I purse my lips, saying nothing.
Because if it's that my fingers were inside your pussy while you came all over them like a horny little slut last night, you're sadly mistaken.
Jesus fucking Christ. My jaw drops halfway to the floor as I stare at him. I stammer. That's not what
I've got a very full day, Dahlia. What do you need?
I swear to God, I'm going to choke this douchebag with a god complex. I need a tool. God damn it. Really? The second it flies out of my mouth, I wish I could shove it back in. But I can't. And so, I have to stand here withering under the smug grin on Deimos's face.
Interesting way to proposition your boss. And given that the rest of the staff hasn't been hired yet.
For putting all of that shit out there together, I hiss with steaming hot cheeks. Like a screwdriver.
And you assumed I would have one in my office?
Well, I frown. Yes?
Guess again. Also, not my problem.
It's your office.
And your job.
For which I'm not being paid, may I remind you? Deimos sighs, bringing a hand up to rub his temple.
Dahlia, I have a headache.
Really? Good. He ignores the jab.
If you'd like to make a complaint about internships in general as a social construct or institution or whatever, I don't know, go whine about it on the internet or something. But don't do it to me. Again, your job is to do what I tell you to do. Today, that means putting together the desks and chairs out there. And now, I'm getting very stressed out because of all the shit I have to do, and there are only 2 solutions to that. Would you care to know what they are?
Why not? I mutter.
Solution 1. You crawl under my desk on your hands and knees and swallow my cock while I fuck your face until I come down your pretty throat.
Holy fucking God!
Or, Solution 2. You get out of my office, go find yourself a screwdriver somewhere, and solve the fucking problem yourself.
He pushes his chair back from his desk and glances down at his crotch pensively, before flashing me a malicious grin.
Decisions.
I purse my lips, my face throbbing. I'll be back. 45 minutes later, after trying to track down the nearest hardware store, which in Midtown is about as easy as finding a taxi during rush hour, I'm back in the office with the new toolkit I just bought. I ignore Deimos when he holds up his wrist and taps his gleaming watch like an asshole. Then, I get to work. 2 hours. 2 fucking hours later, I have exactly 1 chair and half of a desk assembled. I'm also sweating like a pig, even after I've gotten rid of my heels and stripped off my jacket. My hair's a mess and sticking to the sides of my face as I groan and try to stretch out the kink in my back. My eyes lift to the massive pile of boxes looming over me, and I groan. This is going to take me a fucking month. Yes, and your mother would have quite literally killed someone for her biggest hardship to be merely assembling furniture. Fuck. I can do this. I power through. I lose my sweaty silk blouse, stripping down to my bra and camisole, and even roll my skirt up a little more to give my legs some air and better maneuverability. I've shoved my hair back into a messy ponytail. I finish my second desk and third chair. It's only then that I realize the sun is already low outside. I glance at my watch and blink. It's 4. I could cry. It's taken me all freaking day to assemble 2 dumb office desks and 3 lousy swivel chairs.
Now, I know they say Rome wasn't built in a day.
On my knees, I grip my teeth as I turn to glare up at him. What? I hiss, shoving a stray lock of hair that's escaped from the ponytail out of my face.
But do you expect to be done this fiscal year?
My jaw clenches as I squint angrily at him. I'm trying my best, okay?
If that's your best, I wouldn't brag about it.
You are such an asshole! He sighs and shakes his head.
As soon as I hire an HR person, I'm reporting that, you know.
Go ahead, I snap back. But I'm really trying, okay? I turn back to the 4th chair I've been working on and angrily start to twist a screw into the back pad, my wrist screaming in agony from being used so much today. The screwdriver slips, and I cry out when it stabs into a finger on my other hand. Fuck! I hiss, jamming the finger in my mouth and sucking.
Well, I'm happy to see you're multitasking at least.
What? I grunt around the finger.
Putting the furniture together and practicing being on your knees.
He smiles demonically.
Sucking.
My face goes red and my core tightens. Deimos pauses for a moment, then nods at the stack of boxes.
You feel as if this sort of work is beneath you, don't you?
I frown. No, I just...
Tell the truth. Don't fall back on some lame excuse. This isn't about you not having the skills, and I'm not asking for a sermon on social equity between the educated class and the working class, so don't bore me with one. You simply think this sort of work for your internship, given that you're a very intelligent, highly educated woman, is beneath you.
Can I be honest? I snap.
That's literally what I just asked you to do.
Then yeah, I say. I do think it's beneath me, which I know is exactly why you're...
Good.
He growls with a grin. Instantly, I'm on my feet. I can deal with Deimos's bullshit, damn it. I can try and predict the weather when he flips between making me come on his fingers and then bossing me around like I'm some sort of slave. But I don't need to be set up for failure just so he can bring some popcorn and watch. You're doing this on purpose, I hiss. Deimos chuckles.
Did it take you all day to put that thought together? You know, like it took you all day to put these 4 shitty-looking chairs together?
Fuck you!
We'll get there. Fret not.
Asshole. Why are you doing this? I spit. Whatever traces of mirth and amusement were on his face vanish. Why, Deimos? I continue. Because I had the gall to start a life here in New York, and that in a city of 9 million people, we happened to cross paths again? Is that what you're so bent out of shape about? Are you kidding? I gasp as he closes the distance between us and clamps his fingers around my throat. Heat and something wicked and sharp rakes at my spine as his black eyes burn into mine.
Perhaps, Dahlia.
He rasps viciously.
It's simply that I am exactly the villain you always thought I was. And this is just what I fucking do.
He leans close, so close that not for the first time, I think he's going to kiss me. But suddenly, his fingers are leaving my throat and he steps away.
You're dismissed.
My brows arch sharply. Are you firing me?
If I was firing you, there'd be no ambiguity about it.
His lips curl.
Get out. We're done. For today.
And then, without another word, he turns, walks back to his glass castle, and shuts the door. 2 hours later, I'm finally home, and relieved to be in for the night. But I'm still beyond livid about Deimos's bullshit earlier today. It's the bizarre ping-pong match back and forth I can't keep up with. 1 minute, he's biting my skin and sinking his finger deep inside of me, wringing the single most explosive orgasm of my life from my body. And the next, he's got me doing menial grunt work while he lords it over me being a giant dickhead. Yeah, if this is what working for Deimos is going to be like, I'm going to have chronic whiplash. I'm sprawled on the couch in front of some mindless Netflix show when my phone dings. My scowl fades a little when I see Victoria's name on the screen, the girl I crashed into on campus. Victoria. Hey! I hope this isn't super needy to text so soon, but I was wondering if I could take you up on that offer for those class notes. I swear, I can even pay you for them if you want. I grin as I type a reply. Me. OMG, please. Not at all. They're all yours. Victoria. You are the best. Can I at least buy you a drink or two? Me. LOL. Deal. Victoria. Would now be too pushy? Victoria, you have no idea how good a drink sounds after the day I've had. Me. Actually, a drink right now sounds more perfect than you can imagine. Where do you live? I'm on the Upper West, but I can meet wherever. Victoria. OMG, Lower Harlem! We're so close. I'll come to you, though. I know a great place. We make plans to meet at the Owl's Tail, a seriously cool little cocktail bar a few blocks from my apartment that I've never actually checked out. I dig my old class notes out of the back of a closet and change into yoga pants and a hoodie before grabbing my keys. Instantly, my phone dings with another text. My pulse skips when I see Deimos' name. Deimos Drakos.
I have work for you more befitting your Majesty's station.
I roll my eyes. He's seriously incapable of not being an asshole. Deimos Drakos.
I left some physical documents at the Laconia Logistics office. I need them brought to my loft.
I start to type a curt reply about my personal time being my time, but then I erase it and pause to think of a better way to phrase it. Deimos Drakos.
I saw that. Will you try and compose a perfectly biting and sarcastic reply about personal time or boundaries or whatever the fuck you were going to reply with? Let me remind you, you're not just my intern. I own you.
My lips curl into a sneer as my thumbs hammer on the screen. Me. I hope you know I'm screenshotting this conversation for when you do hire that HR person. Boundaries, Deimos. It's 7 p.m. Deimos Drakos.
And where, precisely, were these precious boundaries of yours yesterday, when you were moaning like a whore while your greedy little pussy came all over my fingers?
Good Lord. Deimos Drakos.
This is a useless discussion, because this is neither a discussion nor a negotiation. I need those documents immediately. I'm making it your literal job to go back to the office to get them and then bring them here. Now.
I squeeze my eyes shut and then jam my middle finger up in the direction of the screen. You fucking prick! I mutter out loud. This is ridiculous. But then I think of my mum. I think of what she'd do in this position. I know for certain she'd just go get the damn papers. Not because she'd be scared of Deimos. Not because she's a pushover either. But because she knows how to pick her battles. Running menial errands for Deimos is almost as obnoxious as putting together office furniture. But the goal is still the same. Play ball and get my mum's companies back under our control. I groan as I text Victoria with a scowl on my face. Me. Hey, I'm so sorry. I need to take a rain check on notes and cocktails. I feel awful doing this after we just made plans, but my internship boss is a giant asshole and needs something. Victoria. No problem. Totally get it. Let me know when you're free. Well, at least there are some good, normal people in this world. 20 minutes in a cab later, that I most certainly will be expensing, if Deimos' fake company even does business expenses, that is, I'm walking in the front door of the building. The single security guard waves me through when I show my ID badge, and I punch the button for the office's floor in the elevator. What an asshole. What a total fucking asshole bastard. The doors open to the darkened offices, and I step out. And instantly go stone still, my blood turning to ice, my heart dropping through the floor. My eyes stab across the main floor, to where a red-headed woman is currently bent over Deimos' desk. She's facing away from me, but it's not really her I'm looking at. It's the shirtless man with dark hair, his back to me, giving me a full view of his large dragon tattoo, the Drakos family crest that Deimos already sported even when we were in Knight's Blood, who's currently fucking that woman across the desk. Bile rises in my gut. I stare in horror as he rams into her over and over, his arm muscles rippling and his pounding hips making her thighs shake as she moans in pure ecstasy. There really isn't a limit to Deimos' ability and eagerness to be a complete fucking asshole. I whirl, lurching back into the elevator and slamming on the lobby button with the heel of my hand. The doors close,
just before I throw up.
Chapter 13. Deimos. The fingers of my right hand wander slowly over the black and white keys. The taut strings inside the Steinway Baby Grand tinkle like broken ice as I toy with the melody. Then my eyes drop to the back of the hand, and my jaw tenses. There's tattoo ink covering it now, but you can still see the scar. The mark left behind from the night it all shattered and went up in smoke. The night I lost my gift. A gift. That's what Yaya always called it. We all took lessons on various instruments when we were kids, my siblings and I. Clarinet, piano, whatever. Aries fancied himself a heavy metal guitarist when he was obsessed with Metallica at some point. But none of them stuck with it. But I did, because I saw the piano as a puzzle to be deciphered, a code to be cracked. Also, it came absurdly easily to me, to the point that by the time I was 7, they were tossing around words like virtuoso or savant. There was even a moment in my teens when I considered leaving all of this behind, all the violence and the darkness that come with the family I was born into, and the blood I was born with. To drop all that and truly see how good I could be with my gift. Now the thought is laughable. Because what I am is who I am. Who knows? Maybe I should thank her for playing her part in the events that led to that dream being destroyed along with my hand, clearing my vision of any blinders or distractions. In a sense, she helped me see with utter clarity that it's the violence and the darkness that is who and what I truly am. My fingers dance over the keys again. I'm still good. Very, very good. But I'll never be great. Even after a dozen surgeries, physical therapy from the best of the best, and the laser focus only someone like me is born with. Which is a shame. For more than just making my grandmother smile with pride, piano was my outlet to help me deal with the storm inside of me. The rage, the pain and the abuse. And she took that from me that night I saw who and what she really was. The night I killed. My jaw sets as I pull my hands back and close the lid over the keys. What are you doing? I mean, really, what am I doing? My hatred for Dahlia Roy is one thing, and I think I could make a pretty decent case to any jury as to why it exists like a cancer in my heart. But if it was just blind hate, this would all be easier. I'd have simply destroyed her. Her, and everyone around her that she loves. I'd have either allowed her stepfather to pluck her mother's fortune and her future from their hands, or even helped him do it. But no, I pushed it further. I went and involved myself. I bought those companies, funds, and trusts that he was trying to steal, which I have to say was an extremely impressive feat. 22 shell companies. Several bribed board members. A couple of CEOs with one too many skeletons in the closet. They were more than happy to sell majority shares in their companies to keep those hidden. I imagine it would have taken a financial titan like Carl Icahn or Warren Buffett 6 months to orchestrate a corporate assassination of this beauty and perfection. I managed it in 2 weeks. Why? Because I cannot seem to let her go. I've never let any fixation of mine go, mind you, so I'm not sure why I ever thought I could do it with her. Especially when I clearly never let go at all 6 years ago. Stalking, spying on, meddling with, and keeping other men away from Dahlia Roy for 6 years is not indicative of letting go. And that's both the problem and the source of this all. I'm forever trapped in this light and dark battle with her. Wanting to have her, to consume her, to sully and mark and claim her in every possible way. and also to destroy her for what she did. I'm not sure what I thought bringing Dahlia Roy back into my immediate orbit would achieve. Revenge? Taking by force what was denied me before? If that's the case, why haven't I fucked her yet? Why haven't I taken every warm hole she has until I've had my fill, only to drop her like a bad habit and cement that revenge? I don't know. If only I could lie to myself. I'm sure I could conjure a pretty tale of dragging it out or making her squirm, but I can't lie to myself. And despite turning it over and over in my head, I honestly don't know what the true reason is. Just as I don't know why it is that since I did bring her back into my orbit, or rather since I walked into my grandmother's garden those weeks ago and found Dahlia already in my orbit, my usual appetite for debauchery and depravity of the carnal type has gone, well, it's just gone. Away. On vacation. Leave a message after the beep and I'll call you back. There's never been a shortage of women ready to drop to their knees, open their mouths, and spread their legs with just a snap of my fingers. Whether it's because of my genetics, my money, my family, the criminal thing, or at times the fact that I'm every scary nightmare fantasy every one of them has ever had. You don't have to have slept with me to guess that I play darkly, roughly, bordering on feral, primal. But sex has always simply been a tool for me to achieve a necessary release that's emotional as much as physical. I dull myself with drugs and alcohol, and fuck to purge that thing inside of me that was put there too young. I fuck for the same reason I consume food to sustain myself, or sleep so I don't fall apart. It's a part of living I need to engage in to survive. But with Dahlia, I crave it, desire it, truly and actively want it in a way I've never wanted it before. I've been dreaming of the ways I'll fucking ruin her, too, while trying not to think about, well, what I saw that night. What that motherfucker burned into my brain before I burned his house. I rip myself from my thoughts and glance at my watch. Where the fuck is she? I checked my text thread with her, ordering her to bring me documents I don't actually need. I'm just being an asshole. I want her to show up on my doorstep when I'm sure it's the last thing she's hoping to be doing. I even timed it to have the maximum effect, when she's already changed out of her work clothes and is relaxing for the evening. My phone dings with a new message. It's my brother. Aries. Thanks for letting me use the office. Me. That was awfully urgent. Aries. The video call couldn't wait, and I couldn't take it in the car. Me. You were only like 15 minutes with traffic from your penthouse. Aries. Like I said, it couldn't wait. Will you let me say thank you? Me. You're welcome. Weirdo. I stand, jam my phone into my pocket as I march over to the door to my loft and yank on my jacket. Then, I'm gone. Chapter 14. Deimos. Open the fucking door! I've been banging on Dahlia's apartment for 5 straight minutes with no answer. Neither has she answered any of my texts or picked up my call. The need and desire to turn her ass pink with welts, or to watch her eyes water as she swallows my cock down to the balls, consume me like fire as I pound again. You are playing a game I promise you're not ready to go pro with, Dahlia, I hiss. Now open the goddamn door. It doesn't, but the one behind me does. Can I help you? I throw a brief glance over my shoulder at the weird artsy girl with pink hair. Yes, you can mind your own fucking business. I turn back and raise my fist to the door again. Her voice stops me. "Who the fuck are you?" I exhale slowly, gritting my teeth as I look back at Pink. Her boss. I turn back to Dahlia's door and raise my fist. "And?" A low growl rumbles in my chest. "There is no and, sunshine. That's it. Now kindly fuck off." The meddling neighbor's door shuts as I start to pound on Dahlia's apartment again loudly. So loudly, actually, that I don't hear Pink's door open again. But I do feel the cold metal of what might be a gun barrel pressing into the back of my neck. "You need to stop banging on her door and leave." My lips twist. "And you need to seriously rethink your actions." The lock clicks open. The door in front of me swings wide, and suddenly I'm face to face with a seething Dahlia. She's wearing a baggy, oversized Yankees t-shirt and white cotton sleep shorts, and she's got her arms crossed petulantly over her chest with a look of spite on her face. "What do we think, girl?" her neighbor asks. "I think you should shoot him," Dahlia hisses with a cold, malicious smile, and something else I can't quite place smoldering in her eyes. I tilt my head to the side. "I would consider your next words very carefully." "Or what, dickhead?" Pink mutters behind me. "Gonna huff and puff and—" No. There's surprising someone standing in the hallway of a nice, clean building with a doorman on the Upper West Side with a gun. And then there's actually being able to use it. Or keep it. Pink doesn't stand a chance when I whip to the side, whirl, slam the barrel away from my neck, and snatch the rifle out of her hand. Which isn't actually a rifle at all. It's a fucking camera tripod. Pink swallows, her face paling a little as I loom over her. But the sneer doesn't quite leave her face. "What you gonna do, tough guy?" she spits. "Hit me?" "Next time," I growl quietly, chucking the tripod past her through the open door to her apartment. "Mind your own fucking business." I go to shove Dahlia into her apartment and then slam the door behind us. But Pink isn't done running her damned mouth yet. "You enter her apartment without asking first, and I will be calling the police, fuckface." I exhale with a low, growling sigh, rolling my eyes as I glare at her, and then swivel my gaze back to Dahlia. "Well?" Her lips purse, her arms still crossed over her chest with a sour look in her eyes. But finally she sighs. "Fine." "Dahlia?" Pink presses. "It's fine, Lena. He's harmless. Aside from the gaping asshole he calls a mouth." "Real cute," I mutter, shooting Lena a venomous look before storming past Dahlia into her place. She says something else, I'm sure biting and snippy about me, to Lena before turning to me and shutting the door behind us. "What the fuck do you want, Deimos?" It can't actually be that much of a mystery to a smart woman like yourself, can it? I say sarcastically as she stomps past me into her living room area. It's no palatial penthouse or a loft like mine, but Dahlia's not exactly slumming it either. Her place is a good size, tastefully decorated and cozy, with decent views out the windows. I mean, the entire place is roughly the size of my bedroom, but still. It's very her. Well, she's standing by the windows in the living room when she turns to scowl at me. "Well, what?" "Where the fuck are my files? And why the fuck have you been ignoring my texts and calls?" "Because my time is my time, Emperor Nero," she snaps. "And your dumb files are exactly where you left them at the office." Again, I don't even need the fucking files. But that isn't remotely what this is about. It's about her defiance. It's about her throwing the basic premise of our new arrangement, that I own her, back in my face, petulantly. Then, get them, I hiss. You could have gotten them yourself if you weren't so busy fucking the flavor of the day over your desk. Her voice booms across the living room. Then it goes completely pin-drop silent. I lift a curious brow, given that I have no fucking idea what she's talking about. My eyes take in the anger and some other emotion etched deeply on her face. I move toward her, and she flinches. Don't you fucking touch! She gasps when I grab her wrists and pin them behind her against the window. I will touch you, however, and whenever I fucking want. I blink at the sting of heat on my face, momentarily confused what just happened before it clicks. Holy shit. Dahlia just slapped me. Hard. She goes pale, her breath catching audibly as I grab her loose wrist and slam it back against the glass. My teeth are bared as I loom over her, leaning down to snarl right into her face. She shivers. Don't even think about. Already have. In one swift motion, I've grabbed her, whirled her around, and tossed her down on the couch. I pounce on her, straddling her chest with my shins and pinning her arms above her head. She fights and bucks, twisting and writhing as she tries to hit, kick, or bite me. But when one of my hands leaves her wrists and wraps around her throat, she goes quite still. I can feel her pulse thudding in her neck, and the green of her eyes turns to fire as she stares up at me. Her cheeks flush. Her nipples harden to two distracting little points against her t-shirt as it stretches across the swell of her tits. I would refrain from doing that again. I murmur quietly, an edge to my voice. Or what? Dahlia sneers, glaring at me. Or you'll hit me back. Is that it? She snaps. I might. She can try to hide it all she likes, but pure desire roars like a raging forest fire in those big green eyes. The only question is, I murmur almost to myself, where? Her throat bobs under my hand. Where what? She shivers as I bend down over her, bringing my mouth right to her ear. Where to leave my mark on you? She shudders underneath me, and I can feel her throat working as she swallows heavily. In one motion, I thrust a hand behind me, grip the waist of her shorts and her panties, and yank them down to her knees. Dahlia struggles and bucks against me, but I grab the drawstrings of her shorts and pull hard as I quickly release her neck and twist and knot them, binding her legs together at the knees. Then I press a hand to her throat again to keep her where I want her. My fingertips tease down her bare thighs, and her eyes widen. When I draw closer to her drippy little pussy, though, she suddenly bucks hard against me again. Don't you dare touch me with those hands after... After what? I snap. After that whore in your office tonight, she hurls at me, naked rage all over her face. My brows knit in genuine confusion. Not that I owe you shit, but I wasn't even in my fucking office tonight. Hence me telling you to go there and get those goddamn reports before you fucking ignored me. Fuck you! Dahlia gasps sharply as I reach back and smack her thighs smartly. Then I do it to the other one for good measure and she bites her lip. But there's no biting back the whimper that spills from her throat. I grin savagely as I latch onto that chink in her armor, homing in on it as I smack her thigh again. High up, near where it's pressed to the other one, just inches from her needy cunt. This time she definitely whimpers. I grin darkly. I'm going to say this once more, and once more only. I have no fucking clue what you're talking about concerning me fucking anyone in my office, because I wasn't at my office tonight. Whoever the fuck you saw, it wasn't me. Is that clear enough for you? Her lips twist. I smack her thigh again. Answer me. Is it?
Yes,
she chokes out. My hand slides down closer to her cunt, and her body betrays her as she squirms so desperately. Oh, you do enjoy being a needy little slut, don't you know?
you disgusting pig.
I slap her thigh again, but this time, while it's probably still stinging from my touch, I drop my hand between her legs and cup her pussy. Which is, as I expected, soaking wet. Dahlia's face goes bright red as I chuckle quietly. My. I curl my hand, dragging a finger up through her slick folds as she bites her lip to stop a moan. She tries to turn her face away from me, but I shake my head and slide my hand from her throat to cup her jaw. I twist her face back toward me, willing her to look me in the eye. Don't leave, darling, I murmur, my lips curving up. We're just getting started. Her eyes go wide as two of my fingers sink into her greedy pussy to the knuckles. The wet sounds of her eager cunt sucking them deeper fill the room, turning her face a deep crimson red. I think you enjoy when I leave my mark on you.
I don't.
My fingers slip from her pussy just long enough for me to slap her thigh, hard. Dahlia mewls so eagerly that my cock bulges against my fly, leaking pre-cum into my boxers. Don't lie to me, darling, I growl, ramming my fingers back into her. Because your mouth is pretty abysmal at it, and your pussy downright sucks at it. My thumb rubs her clit as I start to finger her harder. Her eyes roll all the way back as her mouth opens and closes in a silent moan. The thing is, Dahlia, I murmur thoughtfully, I know them all. Every dark fantasy. Every hidden, dirty, fucked up little need you've never satiated, but always wanted to.
The fuck you... Oh, God.
She whimpers.
The fuck you do?
Care to test that theory? I sit up just enough to give me space to yank her t-shirt up over her bare tits. Her face turns red as I shove the shirt up higher over her head, twisting and knotting it around the wrists above her, before sitting back down astride her sternum. I reach down, eyeing her with a devious smile as I flick one of her rosy red nipples. She jolts, squirming under me, but I don't give her an inch of leeway. I flick the other one, hard, and then pinch the first between my thumb and forefinger, twisting enough to bring a choked gasp to her lips as her eyes roll back again. Such a greedy little whore, I murmur, pinching the pebbled nipples atop her delectable tits.
You're a sadist,
she chokes. Guilty.
and a monster.
Probably.
And an asshole.
Now you're just trying to hurt my feelings, darling. Her eyes go wide as I yank open my belt and casually tug at my zipper. I reach into my boxers and wrap a hand around my cock before I pull it out right in front of her face. Dahlia's mouth drops open, her eyebrows shooting up to the ceiling.
Holy.
I allow myself a smug moment to bask in her shock. What can I say? I'm blessed. Considerably. My thick, swollen cock bobs right in front of her face. My hand cups her jaw, keeping her right where she is as I nudge my hips forward. Rather than insulting me with it, let's find a different use for that mouth, shall we? Somehow her eyes widen even more, pulling reluctantly away from my dick to stab up at me. Her lips purse dramatically. I chuckle. Open up, Dahlia. Her lips press together even tighter. My hand smacks her thighs sharply, making her whimper and squirm. I do it again, then again, before finally, I drop my hand from her jaw to pinch a nipple roughly. She gasps, her body flinching, and her mouth opening wide. In an instant, I pushed the head of my swollen cock over her lips and sunk myself in her warm, wet mouth. Sweet fucking God. I groan as Dahlia mumbles and chokes a little around my cock. Erring on the side of caution for the sake of my favorite appendage, I slip my cock out from between her lips.
And just what the fuck do you think you're—
I'm fucking your sassy, defiant mouth is what I'm doing, I murmur darkly. And I'm going to make you come like the greedy whore you are, all over my fingers while I do so. But in case it needs mentioning, if you even think about using your teeth, there will be consequences. Are we clear? She just glares back at me, so I slap her thigh again and pinch her nipples, making her moan softly as her eyes roll back and her body arches under me. Are we clear, Dahlia? She swallows and returns her gaze to me.
Yes.
Yes, what? Her brow furrows. I smile and silently mouth the word, sir.
I am not saying that.
Then I'll fuck this mouth and not let your needy little pussy come while I do so. Is that what you want? Her face heats, her dark lashes fluttering as her eyes flicker with green fire. And the sight of her trapped under me, legs bound, arms bound, thighs bearing my marks and her nipples pink and swollen. It's perfection. Well. She swallows, defiance flickering in her face before she whimpers when I twist one of her nipples.
Okay.
She gasps, writhing under me.
Yes, sir.
My lips pull to an evil grin. Open your mouth and stick out your tongue. When she does, my eyes burn with hunger. I'd suggest a bit wider if I were you. She flushes, stretching her mouth even more open, her tongue sticking out. I fist my swollen cock, push forward, and drag the head over her lips. I trace it around and around her wide-open mouth, and suck in my breath when it slides over her wet little tongue. Then I'm pushing inside. I groan, and my eyes roll back in pleasure as the warm, wet heat of her pretty little mouth envelops my dick. Her lips stretch obscenely around my girth, and she gags a little when I push deeper. But her eyes are locked on mine, and the fire and the lust I see in them drives me fucking mad. My fingers plunge into her pussy, finding her even wetter and drippier than she was before. My thumb rolls her clit as I finger her cunt, curling my fingers against her G-spot as my hips pump, fucking her mouth. Dahlia tries to hold back at first, but fails as her body begins to betray her. Her moans mix with the slick, wet sounds of her own pussy and the sloppy sounds of my cock fucking her mouth. Spit escapes and dribbles out the sides of her mouth and her swollen, stretched lips, my hand tangling in her hair as I fuck my cock in and out. I add a third finger to her pussy, stretching her to the absolute limit as she squeals and moans around my dick. My fingers tangle in a fistful of her hair, my own groans and snarls adding to the noise as I start to fuck her mouth faster and a little deeper. I can feel her cunt squeezing and milking my fingers, and when she starts to tremble and clench up, I know I'm about to see one of my new favorite sights. Dahlia's face when she comes. She doesn't disappoint either. Her brow caves and furrows, her eyes squeezing tightly shut as she moans like a slut around my spit-slicked cock. Her body spasms and jerks under me, squirming and writhing as the orgasm tears through her. Yeah, that's all I can take. With a groan, I bury my cock deep in her throat and allow myself to let go. I grunt as the cum explodes up from my balls and spurts out of my cock, spraying the back of her throat and her tongue. She swallows quickly, but I just keep coming and coming until her mouth is full to the brim. Cum leaks out of the corners of her mouth as I slowly pull myself free of her lips with a popping sound. I grin savagely. The greedy little thing didn't want to let go. And the deep blush that spreads over her face tells me she's just realized that too. My glistening, swollen cock hangs above her still open mouth. Cum is leaking from the head, dripping onto her tongue, her lips, her chin and cheek. I wrap a fist around myself, pumping and groaning as another spurt of sticky white cum splatters her between her tits. Slowly I climb off her, tucking my cock back into my boxers before zipping up my slacks. Dahlia's still lying on the couch, dazed by her orgasm, her chest rising and falling with her breath. There's something so perfect about the sight of her lying there, arms and legs bound with her own clothing, her lips puffy and pink from my cock, and my white cum dotting her tanned skin. She blinks, coming out of her fog. Quickly, her face on fire, she unknots her clothes, pulling them back into place and turning away from me. I grin when I watch her use her finger to scoop the cum from between her breasts, her chin, and from the corners of her mouth. I growl it curtly when she starts to reach for the tissue box on the side table. Her eyes dart to mine. Clean it off with your tongue, not a tissue. Her face simmers. Her eyes slide back to the box. Do it with a tissue and I'll fuck you in the ass right now, here on your living room floor. Her jaw drops, her eyes wide and flickering with something as they lock with mine. Her lips purse defiantly, and for a moment I'm quite excited at the prospect of making good on my threat. But then she opens her mouth, sucks her finger inside, and keeps her big green eyes firmly on mine as she licks it clean.
There. Happy?
She mutters. When you do as you're told instead of mouthing off at me? Yes, extremely. She shivers, then gasps as I move toward her. My hand cups her jaw and she trembles, her eyes holding mine as I lean down as if to kiss her. But I don't, instead dropping my mouth to her ear. If I'd known what a good little cocksucker you are, I murmur quietly, feeling her shiver against me. I'd have done that much sooner. I swear I hear her breath catch deliciously. Then I pull back and straighten my shirt and tie. I'm aware that you have classes tomorrow, so I won't see you, but be at the office at 8 a.m. on Wednesday. Don't be a minute late. I turn away and hear her make one of those signature snorting sounds she makes right before she's about to mouth off or say something snarky.
I assume you can get your own reports, seeing as how the office is on the way back to your place.
I smile as I turn back. Reports?
The ones you so desperately needed enough to screw up my night for?
Oh, I didn't need them. What you still haven't grasped is that the nature of our arrangement means your nights belong to me, as well as your days. To screw up, should I choose. To occupy, if I choose. Her throat bobs up and down. Is that clear, Dahlia? She finally swallows.
Yes.
Yes.
Sir.
she mumbles, blushing.
Yes, sir.
Excellent. Oh, and Dahlia. She shivers, her nipples puckering under her shirt again as I move closer to her. Don't ever talk back to me like that again. Next time I might just chase you first, before repeating what I did just now. I resist the urge to grin hungrily when I see the dark desire surge into her eyes. The needy heat. The forbidden fantasy. Then I leave, before I lose whatever self-control I have left around this girl. Outside, I'm throbbing all over, my skin on fire even with the chill of the fall air. I yank out my phone and glare at it as I stab at the contact. Aries picks up on the second ring. Video call my ass, jack off. I snap coldly. The next time you fuck your wife in my goddamn office, I'm torching the place and sending you the goddamn bill. My oldest brother chuckles darkly. Sorry, buddy. I did tell you it couldn't wait. I hang up and storm into the night, back toward my place. I've never really considered myself to be someone with lines, but it seems I do have them after all, and that I keep crossing them when it comes to Dahlia. And I'm not completely sure that I see that changing anytime soon.
Chapter 15. Dahlia. 6 years ago.
I need to confess something. I feel like I've been holding back in a sense when it comes to our conversations.
I feel myself grin as I sit on the stone bench, reading this latest diary entry, which, at this point, aren't really so much diary entries anymore as they are pen pal letters collected in one book.
We talk about ourselves a lot. Dreams, thoughts, random ideas, jokes, etc. But it feels kind of PG-rated. I'd like to take the brakes off and show you the R-rated version of myself. The real me. The one most people don't see. I don't want to wreck what we have right now, but I also don't want to build whatever this is on lies or a censored version of myself. Is that okay?
I leave a reply saying that sounds perfect, that I never want him to censor himself with me, and that I want to know the real, full version of him. A day later, I'm back on the bench, learning more about my mystery pen pal than I've ever learned about anyone ever, and my face is instantly blushing. Reading his reply is the most sexual thing I've ever done.
Tell me what turns you on.
For a day or two, I don't respond. I can't. Not because I've got a chaste, pure mind devoid of sexual fantasies, but because I'm scared of those fantasies. I'm a little scared of men in general, to be honest, after what happened in my bedroom in Paris that awful night when I was 12. But more than that, the kind of fantasies I have alarm me, especially because of that night of terror and violence. After what happened to me, the fantasies I have are beyond fucked up. They're twisted and wrong, and I shouldn't have them, and I try so hard to ignore them and turn them into something more normal, something safer. But I always come back to them when the normal, safe fantasies fail to do a single thing for me. This is why I struggled for 2 full days, trying to figure out how to explain to my diary author / pen pal that I can't tell him what turns me on. Because I know he'll judge me, or ghost me entirely and never reply again, and then I'll have lost the one real friend I've ever had. But my friend is clearly a mind reader, because on the 3rd day, when I go to the diary again to write some lame-ass excuse why I can't tell him the truth, he's beaten me to it.
I don't judge people for the things that make them tick, and nothing you say will scare or shock me. I promise you that I've imagined worse, darker, more past any boundaries of normalcy and safety.
And then, I read the words that change the entire nature of our relationship.
Let me tell you about what turns me on.
He does, and what he fills the following pages with turns me into jelly. It scares me a little too, not because of what he writes, but because it's totally wild to realize there's another person out there who thinks the way I do, who feels desire in the same supremely fucked up ways that I do. He doesn't ask me not to judge him, and I like that. He merely tells me what he's into without apology. Not to shock me, but to comfort. To show me I'm not alone in having these desires. How he wants to chase. How he wants to tie up, to bind. To hear the word no and keep going anyway. To use a person like his own personal toy. Ruthlessly, brutally, and without mercy. I read it all twice. And when I get back to my dorm room, knowing Amanda has class for a few more hours, I'm barely through the door before I'm face down on my bed with my hands between my legs, bringing myself to the most explosive orgasm I've ever had. But not before I respond in the diary. You've just described everything I've ever fantasized about, but never dared tell a soul. Please, tell me more. Present. I strap right back into Mr. Drakos' wild ride. After the night he barges into my apartment and pushes me into the fucking stratosphere, we lapse right back into the unpredictably volatile Deimos I know. Yep, the good old whiplash is back. One night, he's pinning me to my couch, his hands making me explode while he fucks my mouth, which is something I fully realize should make me feel demeaned and like a sex toy instead of a person and turn me off. But it doesn't. It makes me feel alive in an exhilarating, dirty secret kind of way. But then, after that, he goes right back to being Lord Dickhead. When I get back to the office on Wednesday morning, and you'd better believe I'm on time, he's got me straining my wrists and soaking myself in sweat again, putting together endless desks and chairs. The next day is the same, as is Monday the next week when I go back in. The whole time I'm doing this, he's either in his office ignoring me or shooting me glares, or else he's stepping out with the sole intention of interrupting me and delegating me other tedious, menial bullshit tasks. It's like he's punishing me. For what? I still don't know. I've never known. It's a week and a half after the first night in my apartment, when I gasp as something heavy lands right next to where I'm kneeling on the floor, struggling to assemble a cubicle wall. I gasp, jumping out of my skin and dropping my screwdriver as my head whips around and up to where he's standing over me impassively. What's this?
It's work. Unless you're hell-bent on completing the cubicle walls instead. But they need to be finished this century.
Asshole. I frown as I pick up the stack of papers and stand. I page through them, my brows knitting as I glance up at him. These are resumes.
Clever girl. Very astute.
I glare at him. What are they for?
These are promising potential new hires for Laconia Logistics.
My eyes roll.
Something amusing, Dahlia?
When is this going to end? He arches a brow.
I believe my stipulation was a year.
No, not... I shake my head. Not our deal. I mean this charade with this company.
I'm not sure I follow you.
Just... Deimos, this is all a gag, right? I mutter. I mean, you started Laconia simply to fuck with me, yes?
Your narcissism is quite the turn-off, Dahlia.
I shoot him a venomous look. It's not narcissism, but if it turns you off, good. He smirks.
After the other night, I'm afraid I have to doubt the sincerity of that comment.
Asshole. Go ahead. Try. He shrugs.
Choose to believe this is a real company or not. I don't care. But these are potential hires for senior management, and I'm making it your job today to whittle it down to, let's say, 7 potential candidates.
I frown. This isn't really...
Your area of expertise. Well, I can promise you, Putting chairs together as if you're a 5-year-old isn't your area of expertise either. So sorry to have to break that to you.
I flip him off. He just smiles.
You're in one of the best business school programs in the world, Dahlia. If finding management potential in a stack of highly qualified candidates isn't your area of expertise, I'd start asking Columbia for a fucking refund if I were you.
I sigh as I glare at him once more, and then turn to sit resignedly at one of the dozen or so desks I've put together. Yes, it wobbles. Sue me. I start to page through the resumes, suddenly pausing when I land on an oddly familiar name. When I glance at the educational background of the applicant, my eyes widen. I'm right.
Spotted it, did you?
I jump, realizing Deimos is still standing right behind me. I turn in my somewhat shaky, equally wobbly swivel chair. Matteo Sotaro. He was at Knight's Blood with us. His father is high up with the Camorra in Sicily, I think. Deimos nods curtly.
Correct.
I frown. Exactly what kind of company are you building here anyway? He sighs.
Just vet the applicants.
I turn back to the resumes, glancing over Matteo's. I'll admit, it's seriously impressive. Harvard School of Business, then 3 years at one of the most profitable and aggressive hedge funds in the world. A stint as CFO for a tech company he took public. And now he wants to work for Deimos at his bullshit fake company. Were you and Matteo friends at school? Deimos smiles wryly.
You think I'm doing him a favor?
Honestly?
Why not?
It feels more like he's doing you a favor. This resume is beyond ridiculous. He sniffs.
Then put him in the good pile and keep going.
He starts to turn away, which is when, if I was smart, I would just shut my mouth and get on with it. Do you keep in touch with many people from Knight's Blood? So much for being smart. He stops, his shoulders visibly tensing.
No,
he mutters, without turning around. He starts to continue toward his office. But again, my stupid mouth just won't stay shut. Me neither. Deimos stops again. This time, he chuckles a dark, low, cruel laugh before he turns to level a piercing gaze at me.
No. You don't keep in touch with anyone?
My lips purse. No. Everyone hated me there. Except one person.
Not everyone hated you, surely.
Something cold slides beneath my skin, chilling my blood. I swallow nervously, my pulse quickening, as Deimos' lethal gaze flays me open.
If I've heard the rumors correctly, you weren't totally isolated, now, were you?
My lips purse, and my jaw tightens as I swallow back the sudden lump in my throat. Shut up! I hiss quietly. No, I wasn't totally isolated. I did have one friend, one man who wanted to talk to me, who saw all of me and understood me. And the night I left Knight's Blood is the night Deimos killed him. Only I know what he did.
Run from this place, now. And if you ever speak of any of this, I'll destroy everything you love. A real shame there isn't a reunion in the cards for you, isn't it?
I blink back hot tears, turning away. I'll be damned if I let him see me cry.
Guess I rather squashed the possibility of a repeat fucking performance with the two of them and you, didn't I?
He snarls lethally, his voice pure, honed steel, glinting with a malicious edge.
So sorry about that,
he hisses. I whirl, heedless of the tears streaking down my face as my eyes flash dangerously at him. What the hell are you talking about?
I'm talking about you being exactly like your mother, Dahlia.
He growls. I bristle, the hairs on the back of my neck standing up as my pulse thuds directly beneath the surface of my skin. Excuse me? I spit.
You heard me.
And I think you need to explain yourself, I hiss. Deimos's lips curl dangerously.
Do you? Do you really?
I realize I'm shaking with rage as he steps toward me.
The apple doesn't fall far, does it, Dahlia? Another Roy slut, willing to pimp herself out like a cheap whore for a taste of the good life.
My hand darts out and strikes him hard across his face, slapping the fuck out of him. Fuck! You! I'm shaking and trembling, my breath coming in quick, shallow pants as my eyes narrow to slits. Deimos's head is still turned away from me, his cheek turning bright red where my palm struck him. But slowly, like a monster in a nightmare, his lips begin to curl into a grin as he turns back to level those dark, shark-like eyes at me.
Oh, I see. We're playing rough again, are we?
Dame!
Good.
I gasp as he grabs me, whips me around, and roughly bends me over the desk, yanking up my skirt and starting to pull my panties down. And then reason grips me. Reality punches me in the throat. And before he can do anything else, I'm whirling around and shoving him away as hard as I can. No! I scream at him. No, Deimos! His eyes pull to lethal slits.
You don't get to say that word in our arrangement. Or, actually, I take that back.
I shudder as he leans close to my ear.
Please, do say it. And continue saying it as I utterly ignore you until I feel your hot little cunt exploding around my cock.
His hand grips my thigh, sliding higher before I shove him in the chest again, and then straight up punch him in the sternum. He grimaces, backing away and glaring at me malevolently.
Careful, darling,
he growls quietly. Or what? I snap. Or you'll do something against my will. Or you'll fucking assault me.
As if we both don't know how many pairs of panties you've destroyed, wishing, begging, and hoping that I'd tie you up and fuck every hole you have while you—
I fucking mean it, Deimos! I shriek at him. Don't you fucking touch me! He bristles, his nostrils flaring.
If this is your idea of a game, darling, I'm fucking tired of it.
I laugh coldly. But it's all a game for you, isn't it, asshole? Because you've never lost. Because you've never once had to hold the ashes of your life in your hands and figure out how to move forward. His jaw grinds. His eyes are unblinking. You told me to disappear from your life, I hurl at him. And believe me, Deimos, I hiss, that was never going to be a fucking problem until you yourself barged back into it and chained me to you. He rolls his eyes.
Oh, yes, kicking and screaming, judging from the other night, not to mention all the other times I've made you come.
I hate you! The words taste like poison and pain as they spit from my lips. I'm literally shaking as I back away from him, my face livid. You have no idea what I went through, and what it took for me to finally feel seen at that fucking place. Fresh tears start to bead at the corners of my eyes, and I angrily wipe them away as I stare right at his toxically beautiful face. And then you killed the only person who was ever nice to me there, I blurt. You killed him and then sent me away. The office space falls silent. Deimos's jaw clenches. His eyes stab into mine unblinkingly as his head cocks slightly to the side. Finally, he exhales.
We're done. Get the fuck out.
I blink, staring at him. Are you firing me?
I'm telling you, this whole fucking thing is done. Get out now.
My voice drops to a whisper. What about our deal?
Get out.
What about the companies?
Get out.
What about what you promised me?
Get the fuck out!
I'm bolting for the elevator before I even realize it, my heart pounding loud in my chest as adrenaline and fear roar through me, and as tears I don't even fully understand stream down my cheeks. Chapter 16. Dahlia. 6 years ago. It's almost halfway through the first semester, and I'm still here. Fuck knows how. Despite all the bullying, the mean girl bullshit, and the fact that just about everyone here who isn't actively being an asshole to me flat out ignores me, I'm still at Night's Blood. I've started to hit my groove with my classes, and there are some professors here who I've come to have a good rapport with, and who seem impressed with me. But honestly, the main reason I haven't run screaming from this place is him. Whoever he is. I've spent weeks trying to nail down who on campus I've secretly been communicating with and pouring out my most intimate, darkest secrets to, but I haven't settled on one prospect yet. I think I have, however, narrowed it down to 2. Except neither of them being my mystery man makes any goddamn sense at all. Call it a hunch, or a vibe. But over the last few weeks, there's been times when I could swear I felt eyes on me. A sensation that I'm being secretly watched from a distance. And for whatever reason, that sensation elicits the same feelings deep within of me that I get when I'm reading the latest correspondence with my mystery pen pal. It's like whatever wavelength I get from him through words is the same one I get from his eyes following me. Except, like I said, it's not just one set of eyes. It's 2. Sometimes, when I feel it and look up, it's Chase Cavendish who's smiling at me from across the green or down the hall. Actually, that's who it is most of the time. Although that doesn't necessarily mean he's my pen pal, because somehow we've gotten weirdly close over the last few weeks. I still don't understand why, when the man is almost literally the king of this school, with a line of girls, pardon the awful pun, chasing after him for the smallest crumb of his attention. But for whatever reason, his attention has remained fixated on me. He's frequently there when I leave a lecture, offering to walk me to my next class, or carry my stuff, or just to talk to me and listen in return. Part of me is beyond suspicious because, come on, in what world does a guy like Chase Cavendish talk to a girl like me? But he's been very persistent, and over the last few weeks, he's slowly been breaking down my walls. Honestly, it's nice to have someone to talk to, and I've started looking forward to when he bumps into me or walks with me, especially because, like I say, when I'm with him or when I look up and catch him smiling at me, I get that same vibe I get when I read the correspondence with my pen pal. It would be really nice if it was him, I think. But there's a second prospect. Another potential candidate to be my mysterious friend. One who, like Chase, gives me the same familiar vibes from reading the book as when I look up and find that it's him watching me from afar. Only when I do, he's never smiling at me. He's glaring at me, eviscerating me, turning me to dust and ash with his very eyes. The second one is Deimos Drakos. Chase might be king of this school, but he's not the only king, just the golden one. The Dark Lord of Night's Blood, the complete opposite of Chase in almost every way, the Darth Vader to Chase's Luke Skywalker, is Deimos. So, yeah. Sometimes when I get that tingling sensation that I'm being watched, I look up and it's Chase, smiling from across the dining room. But other times, it's the dark, swirling, malicious gaze of Deimos that I see. If I was normal, and if I didn't have the dark, blood-soaked baggage of my past chained to my ankles, I'd have enough sense to keep as far away from Deimos as possible, to avoid him, to not look up when I feel those malevolent eyes burning into me. Except, I don't seem to be capable of doing that. Something about him draws me in, even if I know it's dangerous. There are good and bad men in this world. My mother has taught me my whole life to have the good sense to stay clear of the latter. So why the hell can't I? It It's mid-afternoon, and I'm rushing from my sociology lecture to my French lit class when I feel it. That tingling sensation of being watched. My skin prickles, and I quickly stop and whirl to see which of the two opposites are lurking behind me. The fact that my heart sinks a little when I see that it's Chase is probably grounds to go seek professional help immediately. But I can't help it. I know Deimos is bad. I know he's a lurking force of darkness, and when he's looking at me, he's probably trying to figure out how to devour my mortal soul, or sell me into slavery or something. He always looks at me as if I've wronged him somehow, though I have no idea what I've done that could possibly make him think that, aside from the fact that through Chase, I've hung out at the Parabellum Mansion a couple of times, and I know that club is huge rivals with Deimos's club, the Reckless. But that can't be the sole reason he looks at me like that, surely. I mean, talk about petty. There's something else about Deimos I can't extricate myself from, too. It's as if the darkness swirling around him like a storm cloud has a way of hooking itself into my very psyche and drawing me closer. Deimos is the car crash you shouldn't look at, but somehow can't avoid craning your neck to stare at. He's the swirling scent of cigarette smoke in the crisp fall air that you know is bad for you, but it just smells so damn nice with the crunchy fall leaves and the scent of apples and coffee that it makes you want to have one right the fuck now. He's the music you play too damn loud, even if you know it'll leave your ears ringing. And God help me, I can't for the life of me stop my thoughts from gravitating to him, even when he stares at me like that. Especially when he stares at me like that. But I digress. It's not Deimos who's caught my attention just now. Chase grins. After I smile back, my eyes drop, and I blush. He's holding a bouquet of, wait for it, dahlias in his hands.
Hey, Dahlia.
He grins that charming magazine cover model grin at me.
So, look, I don't want to be too forward, but...
He shrugs, winking at me.
Forget it. I'm going to be forward. I'd love it if you came to the Halloween ball with me.
My heart flip-flops. Hang on. What? We've covered that real life is not a John Hughes movie. This really isn't Jake Ryan asking Samantha Baker out in 16 Candles. Or is it? What? I blurt, immediately cringing at my less than smooth response. I swallow, blushing fiercely as Chase continues to smile at me. You mean me? He chuckles and steps toward me.
Of course I mean you. It doesn't have to mean anything crazy, but I'd love to go with you, Dahlia. I'd love to...
He shakes his head and looks away. Then he turns back to grin at me again.
I'd just love to take you. I think we'd have a great time.
Chew on my lip, blushing fiercely. People are walking past us, and every single one of them is staring at Chase like he's gone crazy, and at me like I'm the one who's whacked him over the head and make him forget he can have literally any girl on campus that he wants. I don't know, Chase. I cringe inside. Here comes my self-sabotage. It's something I've perfected, a product of years of making sure no guy could ever get close to me. I'm not sure I'm even going, that's all. He smiles.
Come on, Dahlia.
He hands me the bouquet of flowers that bear my name.
Just give me a chance.
My lips twist up in a smile. Let me think about it? He beams.
Totally. Yeah, take your time.
Thanks, Chase, I say shyly, turning to walk away.
Sometimes I feel as if I'm the only real person, wandering a whole planet of replicas.
Time stops. I freeze mid-step, my mouth falling open, as the line forever seared into my heart falls from Chase's lips. Swallowing, I turn to stare at him in disbelief. What did you just say? I breathe.
A single fish in a tank, with the glass painted to look like the ocean around me.
What? I actual fuck. It's him. The diary author is Chase, not Deimos. There's a small flicker of disappointment deep in my core that I'm not quite ready to dissect yet. So I shove it aside and promptly latch onto the other feeling, the one of utter disbelief and shock that this is happening.
I gotta run to class.
He grins as he pushes the flowers firmly into my hands.
Hope we can talk soon, Dahlia.
I, too, have class. But hours later, as late afternoon is fading into evening, I rush across campus to my favorite spot. I pull out the rock and flip open the orange leather book to the last page. My heart soars at the words written there.
Have you figured out who I am yet, Dahlia?
We've never once used names. Obviously, I haven't, because I don't know who he is. But I've likewise never told him who I am. It's kind of been our thing. Until now. My heart races as the pieces all drop into place. It's Chase, the man I've been pouring out my soul to, who gets me so fucking much it hurts, who understands me and doesn't judge me, and has me hanging on his every word, is Chase. A smile lights up my whole face as I snatch a pen out of my bag and bring it to the page. Yes, and I cannot tell you how glad I am that it's you. I think I wanted it to be you all along. I can't wait to dance with you at the Halloween ball. A week later, I make my way across a dark campus filled with eager, excited students. I've gotten ready for the Halloween ball in my dorm room, despite Amanda's snobbish, shitty comments, and her asking me why I'm even going to the dance since no one wants to fuck a rape baby. I won't lie. Seeing her smile drop like a stone when I casually mentioned that my date was Chase Cavendish was supremely satisfying. The club members and assorted hangers-on that greet me at the Parabellum mansion when I walk in are all equally as snobby and elitist as my roommate. Being in a club at all at Nightsblood puts you in the elite category of students here. But Parabellum in particular seems to attract the especially blonde hair, blue eyes, waspy, snobby types. Whatever. I ignore the looks as I make my way upstairs and down the hall to the east wing of the mansion, where the top brass of the club hang out. I'm halfway down the hallway when I pause. My brow furrows as I sniff the air, alarm bells going off in my head. Smoke. Something's burning. My pace quickens as I bolt down the last stretch of hallway to the big double-doored entrance to the billiards room that also serves as the inner sanctum of the Parabellum president, aka Chase, and the other club leaders. The smell of smoke only grows more powerful, and the air around me gets hotter. What the hell? My hand has just touched the doorknob when the door itself suddenly yanks inward. I gasp, stumbling forward into the room and barely catching myself on the doorframe. Then a figure blocks my way. A figure with a hauntingly beautiful, terrifying face painted like a skull, smeared away and scuffed in places. Deimos. He's standing there in front of me looking haggard, disheveled, and brimming with black energy, like a mad king. The face paint only makes it even worse, even scarier. He's cradling his hand, bloody and mangled, and when his eyes meet mine, I see a savagery in them that shakes me to my core.
You.
His eyes are dangerous as they focus on me. His lips curl into a sneering snarl, so full of pure hatred and vitriol that it sucks the air from my lungs. It's only then that I notice there's smoke billowing all through the room behind him, and flames flickering across the ceiling. I go to push past him, but his good hand juts out and grabs me roughly by the throat, sending my pulse jangling. He slams me back against the doorframe, blocking me from entering, or even seeing properly into the room.
Do not go in there.
His voice always has a raspy edge to it, but tonight, it's like he's death itself. The voice coming from this man's body is one that's been through hell and back. Or maybe it's something inhuman, speaking through the man standing in front of me. Something snaps and crackles in the room behind him, and a fresh wave of smoke and sparks billows behind him. fire! I choke through his grip around my throat. Deimos, there's a...
Run away, he hisses venomously. Turn around and fucking run away. And don't ever fucking look back.
The crackling sound snaps again, pushing more smoke through the room. My jaw sets. My courage rises up deep within me, and I plant my hands on his firm chest. Let me go! I shove him, and before he can grab me, I've gotten past him and into the room. Oh, God. The whole far wall is on fire, the heavy brocade curtains of the window roaring with flames that lick at and char the ceiling. The couch is on fire, and a chair, and the Persian rug in front of the fireplace. I'm about to scream when my eyes land on something else, and the needle on my whole world scratches. It's two bodies. One is the VP of Parabellum, Brad Hathaway, and the other... My hand flies to my mouth, clamping over it as I scream into my own throat. The other is Chase, face up, eyes open, staring lifelessly at the ceiling, with blood pooled around his head. So much blood. Before I can say or do a thing, powerful arms go around me, yank me back, and shove me roughly from the room. Deimos's good hand wraps around my throat as he slams me into the wall opposite the door to the clubroom. His eyes spark black fire as he looms over me, snarling down into my face with all the vengeful wrath of the very god of terror he's named for.
I warned you not to go in there,
he snarls viciously.
I fucking warned you.
His eyes squeeze shut tightly. So does his hand around my throat.
Your life just got very complicated, Dahlia,
he hisses quietly. His eyes open again, and when they do, the look he gives me is like a knife being slammed into my chest.
You're gone. You are leaving Night's Blood tonight. You will never, and I do mean fucking never, speak of what you saw here to anyone ever in your entire life.
I blink, my heart racing and the blood draining from my face as the shock begins to settle into me.
Dahlia.
I gasp for breath as the world spins and smoke chokes the air. Someone screaming somewhere. A fire alarm begins to wail.
Dahlia!
I jerk from my stupor, horrified as I stare up into the viciously cold and brutally beautiful face of the man who I'm pretty sure just killed the only person to ever see me for me.
Run from this place, now,
he snarls.
And if you ever speak of any of this, I'll destroy everything you love.
His hand drops from my throat. We stare at each other, as if he's trying to gauge if I'm going to do as he says, or die at his hands when I don't. My mouth opens, then claps shut. Something unspoken flickers between us, as my eyes narrow at him in both pure fear and utter hatred. Hatred that I see mirrored right back in his own eyes lancing into me, swirling with something else I can't quite place. But I don't wait to figure out what it is. I whirl, and I fucking run. Out into the night, tears streaming down my face, my heart shattering as screaming sirens fill the air.
Chapter 17. Deimos. I've never really considered myself a sadist. I mean, obviously I have at times sadistic tendencies. I blame the abnormally high levels of malice flowing through my veins for that. But for all of my more primal inclinations, sexually speaking, I don't actively seek out causing pain for my own satisfaction. That all said, I could get very used to watching Dahlia mutter and swear to herself while she kneels on the floor of the Laconia offices in Louboutins and Dior skirt suits, putting furniture together. It's like the sexiest IKEA ad ever. I smile darkly, my eyes narrowed and glinting as I watch her grit her teeth and shove her hair back from her face, giving me a glimpse of the wrath in her eyes. But she stays where she is, kneeling amongst the piles of half-broken-down cardboard boxes as she assembles a chair. But even as I watch her, I'm not sure I could truthfully say that the pleasure I derive from watching this comes from her discomfort. No. What's got my cock rock hard and swollen in my slacks is the fact that every time Dahlia bends too far over, her skirt rides up high enough to give me a flash of her black panties. Or that the harder she works, and the sweatier she gets while doing so, the more her blouse clings to her breasts, giving me glimpses of her nipples puckering. It's a distraction, to say the least. But then, if I'm going to be distracted from the very real work I have to do, with getting Laconia Logistics up and running, not to mention still being in charge of all of my family's assets in Europe, I choose to be distracted in more, well, shall we say, less of a cock-tease way. She startles when I exit my glass office and march over to her. "Yes," she mutters, shooting me a look. First, lose the fucking attitude. Second, we need to talk about your office attire. Her brows furrow. What the hell is wrong with my office? It's distracting. She stares at me incredulously before her eyes narrow. You're something else. You know that. When I say nothing, her lips purse. Well, Dahlia mutters. Exactly how can my extremely appropriate non-revealing office attire be less distracting for you, my liege? That fucking mouth. Part of me wants to unzip and fill it right here and now, until the sass in that mouth is replaced with my sticky cum. For starters, you can stop flashing me your fucking panties. Dahlia's face explodes with heat. Well, perhaps I could stop spending my days on my hands and knees putting furniture. There's a much simpler solution. I smile at her quizzical look as I extend my hand, palm up. Give them to me. Dahlia stares at me, her throat bobbing. What? Your panties. It's distracting seeing them as you fumble your way through these chairs. I'm telling you to take them off so that isn't an issue going forward. Her cheeks turn pink. I don't even blink, keeping my gaze locked with hers. I crook my fingers. I'm confident I was clear. Now, Dahlia. I can see the venom swirling behind her eyes and bubbling right behind her lips. But she clamps them shut, glaring at me. I'm counting to 3, at which point... Her eyes bulge in shock as I flick a switchblade out from my jacket pocket. At which point I'll be cutting them off. Okay. Jeez. Her face burns with something I'd love for her to claim as anything but excitement as she turns away. I'm confident I hear her mutter something to the effect of, psychopath, under her breath as her hand slips under her skirt. Here, she blurts, turning and shoving a pair of lacy black panties into my hand. They're warm, and not entirely dry. I'm about to bring them to my nose when I hear a slow clapping sound across the large office space. Dahlia gasps, whirling in shock, but I groan to myself, eyes narrowing when my gaze lands on the culprit. God damn it. I heard you were back in the city. Raquel's manicured brows arch, painted nails daintily pushing back locks of platinum blonde. Her eyes land on the garment in my fist, and I see something vicious flicker behind them as they raise to mine. I guess old habits don't go away, do they, Deimos? As if I needed another reminder of why I fucking hate this city. Because it's filled with women like Raquel. 4 years ago, before my siblings moved back here, I was back and forth between London and New York, helping out with the family business here. Our uncle Vasilis, before he was killed, ran the New York side of the Dracos Empire for a while, and it fell on me somehow to be the back-and-forth guy. Being that I fucking loathe New York, I occupied as much of my free time as I could with empty vices to block it all out. One of those empty vices ended up being Raquel. We met at a place called Club Venom, a place built for the dark, dangerous, and deviant of New York's underworld. Part kink club, part clandestine meeting place for those with money, power, connections, and illicit tastes. Scary asshole that I may be, I don't lie to people. At least I don't lie to women the way a lot of men do. My intentions are naked and brutally honest. I want to fuck. Hard and rough, and in ways that will most likely terrify them and go way past their comfort zones. And that is all I want. Not their phone number. Not their name. Not their interest in a repeat. I am very clear in all of this. And yet people mostly only hear what they want to. In Raquel's case, it was not hearing what she didn't want to. She wasn't the first woman to think she'd fix me or change me. But if there was ever a list of potential fixers of me, she'd be at the goddamn bottom. Raquel didn't just ignore my rules. She was, and presumably still is, a cruel person. I'm an asshole, and a narcissist with a god complex. But Raquel is a cold-hearted bitch who enjoys being cruel to people she considers less than her, because she thinks it builds her up. And odd though it may sound, I find outright cruelty to be a turnoff. Doubly so when it's paired with desperation. We hooked up all of once, 4 fucking years ago. Or rather, we almost did. Raquel falls squarely in the camp of thinks she wants to fuck the scary guy with issues, and then freaks the hell out when she realizes exactly how dark and deep those issues are, camp. I never fucked Raquel. Yet she acts as if she's the one that got away or something, and hounds me whenever she can for some fucking reason. Can I help you, Raquel? I growl thinly. She bristles as her eyes dart between Dahlia and me. Who's this? I say none of your business at the same time Dahlia says, his employee. The overlap in the ensuing silence is telling. Dahlia clears her throat, her cheeks red as she awkwardly approached Raquel and holds her hand out. Hi, I'm Dahlia Roy. Raquel smiles at her thinly, ignoring her outstretched hand. You work for Deimos? Dahlia nods. I do, yes. And is it part of your job description to give him your panties? Raquel snaps coldly. Or are you just his little toy? Dahlia's face goes crimson, her throat bobbing quickly. Oh, no. Raquel laughs a brittle, icy laugh. Well, you just collect playthings wherever you are, don't you, Deimos? My jaw ticks. Laconia Logistics isn't quite open for business, Raquel. There's the door. She snorts, glaring at me before ripping her gaze back to Dahlia. Just to point out the obvious, hun, she sneers. He will get tired of you. Dahlia stammers, her face. Oh no, we're not. That might hold a bit more water if he wasn't holding your fucking panties, you dumb bitch. Something flickers in my veins like fire. Your exit options, Raquel, are the elevator, the stairs, or the windows. She bristles, shooting me a snotty look. Those windows don't open. They will if I throw you hard enough. Raquel glares at me, then at Dahlia. Well, I can see you're busy, she sneers. Maybe I'll call first next time. Better idea, I growl. We call this goodbye, and there is no next time. Raquel ignores my comment, turning towards Dahlia again with a thin smile on her lips. You poor, poor thing, she hisses malevolently. He's going to chew you up and spit you out, you know. Dahlia says nothing, and neither do I, as Raquel smirks, whirls, and storms over to the elevator. The office is silent as the doors close. I scowl when Dahlia yanks her underwear out of my hand. When I turn, she's tight-lipped as she turns away and pulls them up under her skirt. Then she grabs her bag. "Where the fuck do you think you're going?" "Class," she says in a clipped, cold tone. Like fuck. You're not done for the day. She whirls, her lips thin and her eyes lethal. "Yeah, Deimos," she hisses quietly. "I am." I let her storm off, but only because she does actually have class now. Then I send a quick note to Christian, my head of security, to make sure Raquel doesn't get within 3 blocks of this fucking place again. Which just leaves me with one last problem. Why it is I give a shit that Dahlia looked so fucking pissed when she stormed off after Raquel. Why I care at all if her meeting a woman I was once briefly involved with makes her angry or jealous or fuck knows what else. But mostly, why I look at Dahlia with anything but anger, or why I want anything at all to do with her, aside from revenge. Chapter 18. Deimos. She moans, arching her back as he pounds into her from behind. His hands grip her hips, his bare dick glistening and slick as he fucks into her. Another set of hands tangles in her black hair, gripping it tight and chuckling as she gags on his cock. Flinching, I rip myself from the flashback, stopping myself just before my fist goes through the wall. Breathe, goddammit. There is no room in my head for nostalgia or dwelling on the past. Partly because I find it burdensome and illogical to linger on things that have already happened, because it's not like you can change them. And partly because the past, for the most part, is filled with nothing but ghosts and pain for me. I mean, I'm not a monster. Not entirely. I can look back fondly on a few choice happy moments with my siblings when we were younger. But even those are somewhat tainted by the shadow of our father. Aeneas Dracos was a terror to all of us, even Atlas, my oldest brother ahead of Ares, who's now dead as our father. But we all experienced his wrath in different ways. He poured all his malice and hatred for the world into Atlas, trying to mold him into the future leader of our family he was born to be. Except my oldest brother was a bully, a sadist, and most importantly, an idiot. After he killed our father to seize the throne early, he lasted all of about 5 seconds before he picked a fight with a man he shouldn't have, and got himself killed as well. Honestly, good riddance. To Harry's and Hades, Aeneas was a bully and a bastard. Kratos had it a little worse than them, since he refused to leverage his massive size and be the soulless monster our father wanted to mold him into. Ares and Hades took a lot of shit, and a lot of beatings from our father. But Kratos did too, with a heaping dollop of disappointment on top of it. Callie was nothing more than a bargaining chip. A girl, when he thought himself only capable of fathering sons. He largely ignored her. She may have gotten the best of it because of that. And then there's me. His weapon. His attack dog. And also his sacrificial lamb. He left me there to die. Although I don't dwell on the past, there are 2 events that haunt me, no matter how I try and cauterize them from my mind. One is all the time I spent locked in that basement as a child, where I was shown true pain and torture. Where I was wronged. Where part of my soul was cut from me in the darkness, even as I screamed in vain for salvation. The other event is killing those 2 fuckers the night they showed me that fucking video that tore out whatever was left of my soul and my faith in humanity, and any other emotions other than hate and revenge. I breathe again, And instead of punching clear through the wall of the room that was once my bedroom here in Yaya's mansion, I rest my forehead tiredly against it. Coming back to this city was a bad enough mistake. Staying was a worse one. Bringing Dahlia back into my world was like ingesting poison, and I have no fucking idea what I was thinking. She's a toxin to me. She always has been. And now I'm feeling the effects of her slowly poisoning every drop of blood in my body. There's my grandson. I smile, turning at the sound of Yaya's fond voice from the doorway.
Kratos told me you're here.
I chuckle quietly. I think it's time for your guard dog to get his own place, Yaya. She scoffs at me.
What? And leave me here all alone? Since all of my other grandkids insist on leaving me one by one.
And here I thought you were all about us all finding love and making lots of babies, I quip. It's one of her favorite lines. Yaya rolls her eyes.
Well, so far, lots of love, but no babies.
Don't worry. I hear Ares is working diligently to change that. In my goddamn office after hours over my fucking desk. That, of course, is exactly what Dahlia walked in on the other night when she went to get those reports I didn't actually need. It was Ares and Nev that she saw screwing like teenagers in my dark office. I'm guessing she even spotted the dragon tattoo on his back that all us brothers have. Yaya makes a face, slapping my chest.
Themu, Demos. Don't talk like that.
I'm not a child, Yaya. I grin. None of us are. I think we all know that the stork is as much a lie as Santa Claus at this point. She sighs, rolling her eyes before her lips pull into a smile.
Well, babies will come eventually. In the meantime, don't you dare chase off my Kratos. Ares is off with Nev. Hades, God only know how, is settled with Elsa. Kali has her castle.
She has her fake marriage to him. I'm not sure I'd go so far as to call him hers. Demetra says nothing, merely arching her brows eloquently before beckoning with her hand.
Come, I'm making tea, and I'd like some company.
I've actually stopped by the house to talk to Kratos about some business I need his help with. But who am I to deny Yaya a cup of tea? Especially when I've been gone for so long and have always adamantly refused to even visit this cesspool of a city. I owe her much more than a cup of tea, honestly. For a start, she's the one that held our family together as best as she could after our mother died and my father went from merely self-righteous bastard to full-on unhinged lunatic. But even more than that, my grandmother is the one who sat by my side all those years ago, when I came back from that evil place in a dark, damp basement, when I still wasn't talking again yet, and still trying to find a way to hold a hand over the invisible hole in my chest through which whatever remained of my soul was dripping out. I don't truly know if Yaya knows all the details of my time in that place. I doubt it. If she does, she's never said a word or let on. But she knows something broke inside me back then. And she stayed right next to my bed, watching me, sometimes praying or reading a book, or other times just sitting quietly, for weeks. In the kitchen, Yaya picks up a silver platter with a teapot, 2 cups and saucers, a bowl of sugar cubes, and a little carafe of milk. We move outside to her favorite spot, the dining table under the arbor where we held Callie's birthday. It's getting cold out, especially when you're 40 stories up in the air. But it doesn't bother me. And Yaya, God love her, would sit out here until the skies dropped 3 feet of snow. And even then she'd probably still be out here bundled up in a parka, doling out a history lesson about the trials and hardships the Spartans dealt with in defeating Thermopylae. Oh yeah, she's convinced we're all direct descendants of the dudes with the CGI abs in the movie 300. How are you liking being back in New York?
I smile noncommittally as I stir a splash of milk and 2 sugars into my tea. Normally I take it black, but my grandmother brews this shit like she's making roofing tar. It's quite a city, I mutter. Yaya laughs quietly to herself. Hengonaki mekanis nagelao. Grandson, you make me laugh. I'm glad I can provide you with entertainment for the afternoon. She sighs, settling back in her chair and drinking her rocket fuel tea. Straight. You hate this place. I drum my fingers on the tabletop and then slowly raise my gaze to hers. Yes, I hate this place. Present company excluded, of course. She sighs, shaking her head. Of course. I'm always happiest when all of you are near me and not across the Atlantic. I sense a button there somewhere. She smirks. You want me to inquire as to why it is you're here? To try and peek past those walls of yours? She snorts. Please, Demos. I'm an old woman. I don't have the time, patience, or strength to tear those down. I doubt even Hercules does. I say nothing, slowly sipping my tea. And besides, she says, lifting a bird-like shoulder beneath her shawl, I don't need to inquire why you're here. I know. That gets my attention. I glance at her, making a point to keep my face neutral. Is that so? She smirks. How's your new company doing, Engonos? Quite well, thank you. And your hiring process? Marching slowly onward. I'm going to begin bringing on an executive team next month. Her lips curl. I was more curious about your current staff. I have no current. God damn it. It takes a miracle to catch me unawares, or to get me to walk into shit over the course of a conversation. A miracle, or Yaya. You mean Callie's friend? I do mean Callie's friend, she says with the slightest hint of a smile. I shrug. I'm doing her a favor is all. She's at Columbia School of Business with Eilish and needed to land an internship as part of her semester coursework. Is that so? I spread my arms wide. I'm not sure what you're looking for here, Yaya. But yes, that's so. I take a sip of tea as the hawkish woman across from me flays me open under her gaze, while managing somehow never to once be aggressive about it. And the only company this girl could find at which to intern in a city like this was yours? Currently consisting of 0 staff but yourself. I do much better with direct questioning if it's before noon, Yaya. And I would assume there were no other companies interested in her because, well, I clear my throat and lean forward conspiratorially, lowering my voice. She's not very qualified, if we're being honest. Ah, I see. Yaya smiles to herself. So it's charity, then? Exactly. She keeps that calm, warm, grandmotherly smile on me for precisely 3 more seconds, before she snorts in a most unladylike way and rolls her eyes. She laughs quietly as she shakes her head and looks away. I see everything, Engonos. You know that, yes? I arch a sharp brow upward. Would you please care to fill me in, then? Because I seem not to have the same gift. That's the 2nd time you've lied to your own grandmother in the last 5 minutes. When I stiffen, she grins and makes a tisk-tisking sound with her teeth. Fine, I'll stop now. But I see it, Demos. I saw it on Callie's birthday, just watching you at the dinner table. I'm dying to be clued into whatever this is. She sighs. Calmness. Context? In you, Engonos. This girl brings a calm to you.
Well, that's utter and complete horseshit. But even I'm not monstrous enough to say that to my own grandmother's face. Well, I'll factor that into my report for Columbia once she's done. For a moment, Yaya says nothing.
You know, your grandfather had it too.
I frown. At what?
The darkness that lives in you.
I blink in surprise. There's no way in the world that's true. There's not. My papu was one of the nicest, kindest, most genuinely warm-hearted humans I've ever known.
Yes, because I lived with the man for 50 years. What could I possibly know about him?
I smile wryly.
He did, Demos, when he wanted to.
We're seriously talking about the same papu. Perpetually happy-go-lucky, always smiling papu. She lifts the corners of her mouth, nodding to me.
Sometimes we smile through the pain. He had it, though. Same as I see in you. Your father had far too much of it. And Atlas.
She shakes her head sadly.
Also too much.
We say nothing for a minute. We just sip our tea in the chilly fall breeze, looking out over the changing leaves on the trees of Central Park.
She's seen darkness too, you know.
I stiffen a little before I glance at her curiously.
Who? Oh, let's stop playing this clueless Demos game, shall we? I don't enjoy it.
She winks at me.
We both know I mean Dahlia.
I arch a brow. Yaya smirks.
Please, Engonos. As if I don't know all about anybody who spends time with my family. I know about Ms. Roy's connections to the Cross family, and of her sad parentage.
She frowns, nodding slowly as she looks into her mug.
But there's something else, too. Another darkness that still hangs over her, though I don't know what it is.
I do. It's me. The shadow hanging over Dahlia is me, and what she saw that night at Night's Blood that she wasn't ever meant to. Darkening her past like a stain, and now haunting her present like a recurring bad dream. And maybe she'd finally found a way to forget, and to move on from that darkness. But I've gone and ripped her right back into it, claws outstretched and teeth bared. Yaya smiles as she reaches across the table and rests her hand on mine.
Something that might help, Engonos. Something your grandfather used to say.
She clears her throat and turns to look into the wind.
If we hide who we are, we remain in the darkness.
Well, that explains it then. Because I've hidden who and what I am my entire life. It sure explains the shadows.
Chapter 19. Dahlia. Sometimes, your breaking point is dramatic and explosive. Cue the Jerry Maguire, "Who's coming with me?" scene. But other times, your breaking point just happens in between words or breaths of air. There's no big Hollywood movie finale that pushes you over the line. It's just a single look, or one comment. Or, in my case today, a blister. This morning, I woke up with my hands and wrists aching, my knees raw, and my back killing me from the long, punishing hours I've spent as Damos's handyman putting furniture together. I even didn't wear office attire one day, coming in instead in basically workout gear so I wouldn't sweat through another nice blouse. Damos told me it looked unprofessional, and that I was in violation of some sort of previously unknown to me office dress code. Then, he bent me over the nearest half-assembled desk, yanked my yoga pants and panties down, and spanked the fuck out of my bare ass before fingering me to an explosive orgasm while emptying his cum down my throat. Yeah. You'd think if that wasn't your breaking point, nothing would be. Except nothing about that made me break. Just shatter, beautifully, and come apart at the seams in the most sinfully delightful way. I really, truly need to find a therapist. In the back of my mind, I know what's going on between us is extremely fucked up. The power imbalance alone of him being my boss and what he's holding over me should be the biggest, reddest red flag in the world. Throw in the nature of our physicality, and it gets downright scandalous. My white male boss is, essentially, forcing me to perform sexual acts with him while using threats of me losing my future as leverage. I mean, this could be the poster for the Me Too movement. And I know that should bother me, like, a lot, especially with what my mum and I have been through. I feel like I vaguely remember a therapist I saw years ago saying something jargony like negative pattern, conformity, repetition, or some such. Loosely translated from shrink speak, that's